There we go. All right. We should be... Yep, there goes the mic. Perfect, perfect. Adjust the volume a little bit. Come on. Testing, testing. There we go. There we go. Ooh, little loud, little loud, little loud. There we go. All right. Hello, guys. Hello? Can y'all hear me all right? Yep. Okay, good, good, good. Hello, everybody. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're all having a great day. Welcome, one and all. Go ahead and open up YouTube and go ahead and open up YouTube and let's pull this up right here. All right, we've got 75 minutes. 75 minutes until the stream officially starts. So we're going to hang out for that 75 minutes. We're just going to hang out. I do not expect a large number of viewership on this stream because apparently everyone is doing a stream party. I know Havoc's doing one. I'll bet Solid Soul is doing one. I heard that he was doing it. John DeLiner will probably do one. Pretty sure that Slanderous is going to do one. I feel like everyone's coming out for this new hero. They're all coming out to do a reaction to the Warriors Den. So I'm competing with a lot of better For Honor channels. So I don't expect a large turnout. If I get more than 100, I will be shocked. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are here. I was actually up super early this morning because it snowed here. Some of y'all may be like, that's not a big deal. I mean, it snowed. What's the big deal? Y'all don't understand, okay? I live in the low country of South Carolina. We almost never get snow. Like, we've gone years without snow. This is the first snow we've had down here in literally years. So this is shocking. And this isn't like a little snow either. We got about 3 or 4 inches, which is surprising. So it is crazy. It is crazy. Oh, Raptor Rex is doing it. Like I said, everyone's doing one. Everyone's doing a stream. So, like right now, I've only got about 80 viewers. I want to do a stream where I get 200 viewers. I want to do a stream where I get 200 to 300 viewers, but I don't think that'll be this one. I don't think so. Shame, but that's what it is. All right. I don't know why, but I want an Ottoman Janissary as the next Outlander, and I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling that. But yeah, I'm super excited for this. All right. Speaking of snow, we had snow here a few weeks ago. My snow shovel broke. But yeah, it is really awesome. It's I think 27 degrees outside, so this snow is probably going to stick around for a little while. I need to do research on Mongolian history and mythology for my new Hotun character. Did I pronounce her name correctly? Well, it's Hotun. It's Hotun. In the Mongolian, that K at the beginning is silent, so it's Hotun. Raven, to say this quietly, the show. Okay, whatever. I bet you already have a legend in mind for the hero. I have a name in mind. I have a name in mind for the hero, but I don't have a legend yet. I need to play the hero to get the legend. Because usually for me, I build legends based on time spent with the hero. And obviously it's not out yet, so there's been no time spent with the hero. But I have a name in mind. I have a name in mind. I do have a name ready to go. Going ahead and pulling up this here. Okay. There we go. All right. What's the predictions for her moveset? It's a good question. It's a good question. Lots of people are assuming she's going to be like Aramusha because she uses dual swords. I could see that. What's the name you've given her? Her name is going to be Alakai. One thing, Raven, I've left a question in your latest Kiku video. I'm not sure if you saw it yet. What was the question? Raven, do you have a legend who is basically the badass wandering bounty hunter or something? There are a couple of wandering bounty hunters, like my Aramusha legend. So lore-wise, is the Hotun basically the Mongolian equivalent of the warlord? We'll have to hear the lore first. The Raven Knight universe is expanding. It must continue to expand. It will always expand. Yeah, 79 viewers. Like I said, I don't think I'm going to cap. I don't think I'm going to get it very high today. It's a shame. Can I spell her name? Yeah, sure. 1 second. There we go. I'm predicting ton of hyper armor full guard. No, she doesn't strike me as a full guard. This hero doesn't strike me as a full guard. Hyper armor maybe, but not a full guard. Soon enough, we'll have a Raven cinematic universe. I'm waiting for a Spartan hero. Yeah, I'm used to that statement. List of the Raven Knight universe. This list is incomplete. You can help by expanding it. I'm always building on the universe. What do you think the feats will be? I would think something with arrows, you know. This channel is definitely going to grow. Actually, it's decreased in size recently, so it's no longer growing. There's actually an old saying about YouTube channels. They tend to peak and then steady out and then decline. I think I'm at the steady out part. I think I'm at the steady out portion. Because it was funny. When I released my Astria and Apollyon video, this channel exploded in subscribers. And ever since then, it has just been decreasing gradually. Do I think she's going to seek revenge on Astria? Well, that is my thought process. That is my thought. I think that she's out to get Astria for sure. Based on the trailer where she says that wolves and sheep are just untamed beasts. She has no love for Astria. Since she has dual sabers, I think she'll be fencing character. Maybe. All right. I hope she has deflex. Here's hoping, man. I'm not sure what we're gonna get. I'm excited to hear. I'll tell you one thing. I know this. I already know people aren't going to like her. I already know people aren't going to like her for the sole reason that she is female gender locked. I just find that hilarious. I really do. Hail the Han. Yes, hail the Han. I doubt she'll have deflex. Well, we'll see. I mean, we haven't had a deflect hero in a while, so maybe they'll surprise us. I'm more excited for the drip than anything. Yeah, the outfit we saw in the trailer looked tight. I'm not gonna lie. What possible fighting style could the new hero do with her swords? A dual wielding fighting style. I mean, I'm not an expert in dual wielding fencing arts. I trained in HEMA for a little while, but I mostly focused on longsword usage. I'm not super familiar with dual wielding stuff. That's not my thing. Here's a hot take. I don't care if she's female. That's my take. Do I think there will be full helmets? I don't know. I don't know. Havoc will definitely like her. I hope so. Havoc and I are usually on the same wavelength about a lot of things. Wait, on that topic, is the Han Dynasty of China the Mongolian one? No, the Yuan. The Yuan Dynasty is the Mongolian one. What if the Mongol hero is the character that Astria and Bo Yin teamed up together to defeat, and now she's back for revenge in a round 2 against Astria? Oh, that'd be kind of interesting, actually. The funny thing is people call you both racist and woke for your opinions. You got both sides hating on you. Yeah, no, seriously. I am a hated individual. Let's go. Anyway. We're at 112. We reached 112? Oh, we did grow. Hey. All right, but let's see if we can reach my goal of 200. If we can reach my goal of 200, I will be very happy. Because that's my goal. I want to reach 200 this stream. The question is too long to paste in a stream chat. Okay, well, you can send it on Discord. That's usually where I get questions. As long as she's fun to play, I'll play. Yeah, that's the way I look at it, too. I just want a hero who's fun. I want a hero who's engaging, you know? Raven, would the Mongols realistically use dual Turkish sabers, or this game in Ghost of Tsushima lied to me? It's possible. I mean, I'm not saying that it's impossible. Turco-Mongol sabers are actually lighter than you would expect. They're not that heavy, so you could probably wield one in each hand. Like, actually, if I recall, I think Turco-Mongol sabers are a little lighter than katanas. They're not heavy swords, so you could probably dual wield them. I've never seen it done, but that's not saying it can't be done. See, the thing is, whenever I talk about dual-wielding katanas as being kind of silly, that's because I've tried. I have 2 katanas, and I have tried dual-wielding, and while it can be done, your arms get worn out very quickly, and it's not as easy to control them, and good luck blocking with them. But Turco-Mongol sabers, I have no experience with. I don't own a Turco-Mongol saber, so I don't know. Honestly, I don't see you as woke. I'm not. So here's how that works. Here's how that works. So, on the one hand, I look at consistency, right? And I even posted this on Discord. I was talking about this on Discord, right? Here's the thing. When I look at stuff in For Honor, okay, I want consistency. And what For Honor has done is pretty consistent. They release a male and female hero each year. We had Warmonger and Griffin. We had Kyoshin and Pirate. We had Medjai and Aphira. We had Ocelot and Varangian. We had Sohei. And since Sohei is male, next has got to be female. It's not like they said, okay, we're going to release all female heroes this year. We're just doing nothing but female heroes. But people act like it's just female heroes. I'm like, no, that's not what they're doing. They're doing one male, one female each year, and that's fine. Now, what bothers me is there are going to be people who come after my Executions Graded videos or my Heroes in History videos and say, come on, Raven, no one cares about history, no one cares about authenticity, it's all unrealistic, it's all fantasy, it's only a matter of time before we get literal wizardry in this game, like, why do you even care about history and realism? But then we get a female hero, suddenly history and realism matters. Oh, where's our buff Mongol warrior man? Where's our male pirate of the Caribbean? Where's our male Muslim warrior for the Aphira? Where's our male Varangian guard? And I actually did this. I did this as a little test. I went to each of my reveal videos where I said, new hero revealed Sohei, new hero revealed Varangian, new hero revealed all that. And I typed in for the search in the comments, gender, just to see what people said. Under Varangian guard, and this video, and for this hero, Hotun, lots of people saying they don't want gender lock, they don't like gender lock, they don't like gender lock bad. But under Ocelot, under Sohei, never mentioned. Never mentioned. And here's the thing. I'm not here to say that the whole community's sexist. That's not my goal. But what I am here to say is there's a double standard here. There's a very clear inconsistency. If you hate gender lock for the sake of gender lock, okay, fine. I'm not a big fan of gender lock myself. I wish all the heroes could have 2 genders and you could go male or female for all of them. I do. But as I said, I've made my peace with the reality that consistently they are releasing 1 male and 1 female. I've made my peace with that. I'm cool with it. It's fine. Thumbs up. Okay, that's my stance on the matter. But that being said, if your stance is I don't like gender lock, then keep that consistent. But don't be the guy who comes to the new female hero and says, I don't like gender lock. Okay, what do you have to say about Ocelot? Silence. I don't like gender lock, Varangian. Okay, what do you have to say about Sohei? Silence. And then, of course, there's been some pushback like, oh, but come on, when you think of a Sohei, when you think of a Mongolian, when you think of a Varangian, what do you think of? I'm like, that's irrelevant. That's not the relevant talking point. I'm talking about consistency. If your argument is, I don't like gender lock, period, then why are you not raising Cain when a male gender lock hero comes out? Therein lies the double standard, and that's why I call it out when I do. See, again, for me, I'd like all gender lock removed. I'd like all characters to be able to play it as whatever gender. I stand by that. But since I've made my peace with it, I don't make a big deal about it whenever it happens. So when a new hero comes out, if it's male gender locked or female gender locked, I don't care. I'm like, okay, that's a thing. And when I do my heroes in history, I can talk about, in history, there were or were not female warriors of this group, like Varangian Guard. There were not female Varangian Guard. That is a historical inaccuracy, and we can discuss it. For Hotun, there were female Mongol warriors. They did exist, and we can discuss it. But don't come to me and say, oh, it's not historically accurate, Raven. When part of the problem I face on my channel is people telling me how little history and realism matters in For Honor in the first place. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't say, Raven, please remove realism from your Executions Graded because realism doesn't matter in this game. We just want cool shit. Okay, I'll remove that. Why the heck isn't this historically accurate? What? What happened to consistency? But that's my take on it. That's my take on it. It's not a matter of calling the community sexist or otherwise. It's a matter of calling for consistency. Look, I get it. I'm not a fan of gender lock either, but I've made peace with it. I don't look at it as For Honor being woke. I don't look at it as being my girl power. I'm like, are you kidding me? It is not about girl power. I don't care about that. I don't see that. I see consistency. So that's what I look for. Anyway, that's my stance on the whole matter. We're getting close to 200. Hey, we are. Well, it's at 174 now, but we're close. We're close. Raven, while I did love Ocelot as male, I was kind of pissed there wasn't female Ocelot. I wanted a hot Aztec mama, not going to lie. I get behind that. See, that's the thing. One person told me it's not about, we don't like female heroes. Because one person left a comment saying, I don't like that you resort it all down to a matter of we don't like women in our fighting game. For a lot of us, it's a matter of customization. We want to have the freedom to customize the way we want. Okay, I'll take that argument. Good argument. You remember my argument about claim? If you're presented a claim, you have to present evidence and a warrant for that evidence. I talked about that previously. In this case, the claim is we just want customization for our heroes. Okay, fine. Let's go with that. All right, so your evidence is so what is your evidence for that? Well, many other heroes like Warden and Raider and several others, you can make male or female, which allows for more able customization. Right. So can you not customize this hero that is gender locked? Well, you can. Maybe not as much, but you can. So my thought is you can still customize, maybe not to the same extent, but you can still customize. But by that logic, would that same argument not apply to the male gender-locked heroes? See, therein lies the issue. If your only argument is, look, we just want to be able to customize freely, okay, why are you not getting as upset when it's a male hero? That's the issue. Because I have to go where the evidence leads me. If you want to make the argument, I only want to customize my heroes, and I think gender locking restricts that. I agree. So why are you not raising this issue when a male hero is released? Because again, when I went to my Ocelot video and I just looked through the comments to find any mention of gender lock or female or anything like that, not a mention. So if the issue is, we just want to customize, why are we silent? Anyway. Honestly, I don't get why people would be getting upset over Hotun as gender-locked female because I can't even tell who's under that mask. I could tell it was a female because she's kind of got a very lithe curve to her waist. I noticed that. I watched that trailer very closely. I was like, Most factual thing I've heard today, Raven? What? The thing I said? Well, here's the thing. Here's what I find so funny. Here's what I find funny. I find limitation creative. And what I mean by that is you shouldn't see a limitation as a restriction that hinders your ability. I see it as a challenge to overcome. So, for example, I needed to write a legend for my Varangian Guard hero. She's female gender locked. Now, some might say, but I can't customize it the way I want. I can't make my awesome, cool male Varangian Guard hero. Okay. Challenge accepted. Let's see what I can do with that. I see it as an opportunity. You have been limited. You have a hero to work with, but they are only female. How do you do it? All right. Time to get creative. I think that's the chance for a true chance for a true writer to shine. You're given a limitation. It's kind of like if you were to, here's something cool. I'll tell you all the truth. Okay, check this out. Me, my friends Hannah, Jay, and my brother are doing a D&D session together. It's the first time Hannah and Jay, my friends, have ever done D&D before. So they are seeing all this for the first time. And they want me to help take notes so that we remember all the sessions we go on. But here's the cool thing. I'm turning those notes into a long-form story. I'm taking our silly D&D campaign and making it into a story. I have to follow what we do pretty closely, but I still have to make it feel like a story. There's restrictions there. There's things I have to be careful of. There's certain events that happen. Like if one of our characters goes down or takes a heavy hit, I have to add that even if it's not fun for them. That's restricting. I can't write it the way I want to. I can't say, they didn't take that hit. I'll just write that. No, if they took the hit, if they went down, I have to add that in. I have to add, like there was a scene where my character had a very embarrassing dice roll. I had to add that in. See, being a writer, being a creator, sometimes you have to meet those limitations, and that opportunity is a chance for you to get really creative. So when people say, this limits my customization, it's so bad, this is your opportunity to get creative. Oh, man, we went down to 115? Damn. Nah, we're not getting to 200, guys. It's not happening. Yeah, we're not getting there. I know I'm sad. Pause? Okay, I pause. Raymond, just make sure to stay off for Honor Rule 34 for the next month, okay, for your eyes' safety. I guarantee Hotun is going to get some crazy art. Definitely from Solid Soul. That's not even a question. Yeah, I forgot I had a mace and Jay forgot his weapon was on safety. No, that's true, Hannah. Everyone say hi to Hiring. That's Hannah. She's one of the ones there. She's paying a lizard folk cleric, and she literally forgot at one point she had a mace. It was hilarious. Like I don't have any spell slots to use. You have a mace! Like, oh yeah! Raven, they gave you Crayola crayons. Make a masterpiece. You joke, but there are things you can do. What time did they say they'd start the stream? We start in 55 minutes. We have 55 minutes. Solid Soul would go insane with Hotun. My only problem with Solid Soul, is his thumbnails, genuinely. Like, I don't watch a lot of his videos just because his thumbnails, I'm like, look, here's the thing. I'd be a hypocrite if I said, that, like, you're just using hot ladies on your thumbnails to draw people in. I use Hannah and Jay's art all the time to draw people in. Like, that's just what I do. I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not going to do that. But some of the art that he uses, I'm like, that's risque. Holy shit, I watched your videos for like 3 years, and this is the first stream I'm able to watch. Love the executions, great videos. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Lucas. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Raven, I want a Spartan mommy. Yeah, you made that clear, Lord Thunder. I saw all your messages. Let's see. But also sex sells. Yeah, it's true, Hannah. Unfortunately, it is true. I personally think that Clayercon, the Mongol image that you saw in this thumbnail, is objectively best. It is perfect. Everyone thank Hannah for that. Everyone thank Hannah for that. Now that I hear that you're making a D&D story with your campaign, now I'm excited. Oh, well, if you want to read it, I've actually posted the first 3 chapters. The first 3 chapters of the session of the campaign are posted. I'm working on chapter 4. I think solid is solid, just not his thumbnails. Yeah. Could we get a Chakram hero? Actually, Genshin Impact just added a Chakram hero. That's crazy. He's cut back off that stuff a lot, though. I think his most recent video had an image of Shaman that looked risque. I'm a bit frustrated waiting 8 years for a Spartan hero. Sorry to hear that. On D8, yeah. Man, these other YouTubers are copying Raven's idea of streaming these Warriors and taking away our viewers' population. I know, Mal. I know. It sucks. My goal was 200, and we're not getting there because right now we're. The problem is, I'll tell you the real issue. My channel is niche, but niche is not always good. And here's what I mean by that. My channel provides something, and I'm going to brag on myself just a little. I don't normally do this, so enjoy it. My channel provides something very unique. I offer something that most other channels do not. I talk about history. I talk about writing. I talk about lore. I talk about the realism behind the game. I talk about stuff about this game that most other channels don't. Most other channels are content to talk about the gameplay, which is great. It's a fighting game. You want to talk about the gameplay, but that's the thing, isn't it? Most people only want to see the really good players talk about the gameplay. They want to see people like Havoc who can play super well and talk about how much fun the game is to them. They want to watch people like Solid Soul and Freeze and John DeLiner and a Break and Run. They want to watch these people who give such unique and base takes to the game and just talk about how great the fighting is behind it, talk about the balancing and tips and tricks behind the game, right? That's what they're good at. That's what they bring to this table, and that's why a lot of people really, really like them. And that is great. And the nice thing is people say, oh, but Raven, you bring something so unique that no one else does. Absolutely. But the problem is the majority is always going to go to that group that they know. It's kind of like the idea behind the devil you know versus the devil you don't. It's like if a McDonald's is open in your town and then a brand new mom and pop restaurant opens up that no one knows anything about, sure, some people will come there because they want the new and the different. But the problem is McDonald's is still the more popular, more well-known, more appreciated brand, so people are going to go to that brand. So that's the issue. If it were just me and Havoc and a Break and Run doing a stream, I would probably get a lot more views. But since everyone's out here streaming, I'm willing to bet a lot of them have way more views because there's just people who find their takes on the game way more investing than me. Because what do I give if not just the story and the lore and the history? Like Mal, you said it yourself at one point. You will sometimes turn off my stream so that you can hear them talk about certain aspects because you don't want me talking over it. You want to hear what they have to say. And that's fine. I'm not criticizing you for that. I'm just using that as an example. There are some things people want to hear, not from me, but either from other content creators or from the source themselves. And that's totally fine. It's what it is. But it does mean that the channel doesn't always get the attention that I would like it to. Do I have any tips on starting a D&D session with friends? Get your friends together, find a person willing to DM, and go for it. Like, honestly, that's the way we did it. What time will it start? Every time people ask me to go to it. 49 minutes. We got 49 minutes. When was the last assassin added? That would be Nusha. Nusha was the last assassin added. That was year 3. Raven, after the time I got some nasty food poisoning from McDonald's, my poor... I was using an example and you know what I meant. Oh, well, at least you enjoy him. Plus, you forgot to call me Joe, which is proof I've been gone for a long time. Oh, okay. Out of all the Mongol Hans, who do you say is your favorite? Either Genghis or Kublai. Probably Genghis or Kublai. I think it's another hybrid or heavy again. I don't care. It's fine. I'm fine with it being hybrid or heavy or what have you. I hope this Mongolian here is like a Swiss Army knife. Hey, I'll just be happy if they're fun. Oh, hey Raven, you streaming this weekend? Got no money now, but I can super chat you over the weekend. Yeah, I will be streaming this weekend. Look, I'm going through financial hard times, absolutely, but I don't want to beg for money, okay? I'll figure all this stuff out. I'm probably going to have to replace the PC that I have. Like, right now, I'm streaming this on my brother's loaned PC. It took me a little while to set everything up. That's why the mic didn't work at first. I haven't gotten all the bells and whistles set up. I'm glad that it works, but I will need a new PC at some point. Hey, thank you for the $5. It better be an assassin and not another hybrid. Also, when are we getting more Wulin? Well, I definitely want more Wulin, but thank you for the $5. Really appreciated it, man. Any little bit helps. It really does. I've seen a few articles describing the hero as lightning fast, so I'm hoping that this is an assassin. We'll see. We'll see. Yeah, we got a super chat, Max. I'm so happy. You're a good man, Raven. You deserve good things. Thank you. I appreciate it. Raven, if you showed someone this game 8 years ago, do you think they would scoff at it? No. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. What about a yellow turban hero for the Wulin? Nah. Hey, Raven, I hope you're enjoying the morning and now got to get back to work. Hope you enjoy the new hero. I can't wait to play them myself. Thank you, Austin. I'm very excited. I hope they give Valkyrie a face reveal. They better. We don't need any more weeb characters. I honestly am okay if they take a break from Samurai and just give us Wulin. I want Wulin heroes. Look, here's the thing. I need Wulin heroes. We've got enough Knights. We've got enough Vikings. We've got enough Samurai. And we've gotten plenty of Outlanders. We're about to reach the point where the Samurai and where the Wulin and the Outlanders have matching numbers here. Come on. Give us some Wulin. Would try Super Chat, but currently having a decent bit of my income going into a new PC. Yep. I know that feel. I have a question. What's your take on new players leaving the game because of toxic higher level players? It's very easy to play this game against bots. If you're having trouble with toxic higher level players, play bots for a while until you get more used to the game and just keep going. Everyone's going to have their threshold for toxicity. Look, I'm not going to pretend like there isn't some toxicity in the game. There is. And if you can't deal with toxicity, well, you don't need to play multiplayer games because toxicity is going to be in any multiplayer game you play. And your threshold for toxicity is going to matter. But if you leave, like if you come into the game and you only play 3 matches and people are a little toxic so you quit, sorry, man. I'm sorry that was your threshold, but I'm surprised you can handle multiplayer games if that level of toxicity was enough to make you quit. That's what I have to say about that. As a Muslim, I've always been told, intrigued, and explored and integrated with other religions and culture, which is why I really enjoy your Bible studies. Keep up the good work. Well, thank you, Ray Dr. I am very fascinated that I have Muslim viewers watching my Bible studies, so thank you very much for telling me that. That makes me very happy and very honored, so thank you. That means a lot. You know, I'm very curious about the lore, like have the Mongols and For Honor universe begun their conquest? I don't know. We'll find out. They've given us Wulin. They just don't want to put them in the correct faction. Yeah, I know. Like the pirate should have been a Wulin. I swear. Hey, Raven, how do I practice counter guard break? Go to training and practice it for a while. And have your thumb hovering over the guard break button at all times. Any idea for new Wulin heroes that could be added, Raven? Oh, sure. Let's add a hero who uses Xion Sword. I'd love that. Let's add a hero who uses a chain whip. I don't know how you'd implement that. I don't know how you'd motion capture it, but that'd be really cool. You can add some meteor hammer heroes. That'd be really neat. You know, I've got 3 right there. Wait, did we reach 200? Did we? No, it's 186. We didn't get there. Or maybe we did and I just didn't notice it. Well, let's get it back up over 200 consistently. The toxicity is real, no doubt, but it's not the worst. I've heard people say that For Honor is the most toxic game. Actually, there was this dude, I think my brother found him on iFunny or Reddit or something, and he said, I challenge you to find me a more toxic game than For Honor. And my brother just replied, Dead by Daylight? And he goes, oh, okay, that's fair. And another person replied, League of Legends? Okay, that's fair. Then another Fortnite? Okay, that's fair. Like Rainbow Six Siege? Okay! Hey, Raven, I always wonder this. Why did they change Pirate from a Wulin to an Outlander? Pirate was never a Wulin. They planned her to be the first Outlander. But what they said was that she was originally from the Wulin nation, but she went her own way, and now she doesn't identify as any faction, so she's an Outlander. Oh, no, their game's way worse than For Honor. Oh, yeah, For Honor's not the worst. For Honor's got toxicity, but every multiplayer game has toxicity. You just got to get used to that. Hey, how you doing, man? How you doing, Derplexende? I know I mispronounced that. I apologize. You can't even play DBD without a Survivor DCing because you're just playing the game. The way I see it, DBD, the big problem with DBD is just a lot of entitlement. It's just a lot of entitlement from both sides, Killer and Survivor. And that's the big problem I have with DBD. It is a lot of entitlement. The Survivors get mad if the Killers play a certain way or use certain perks, and the Killers get mad if the Survivors play a certain way and use certain perks. There's no winning. There's no winning in that. The way I play DBD, the way I play Dead by Daylight is I just kind of accept, you know what? I'm not good at this game. People always say, Raven, you shouldn't be so hard on yourself, but you got to understand, I'm hard on myself because it's a defense mechanism. It keeps me from getting entitled. So that way, if I lose in a match of For Honor, I go, well, it's fine. I suck anyway. If I lose a match of Dead by Daylight, well, it's fine. I suck anyway. So that way, when I win, it's like, oh my gosh, I sucked but won. Oh, 5 pounds from him and official. After being a loyal viewer for a year, I think it was about time I showed you my gratitude. I love your X is graded and stories. Keep it up, buddy. Well, thank you, humanoid official. That means a lot to me. And having watched a year, well, thank you, man. Thank you so much. Like I said, guys, any little bit helps. It means the world that y'all donate at all. Thank you so much. I'm still bothered by the wasted potential for pirate. Yeah, I can understand that. She could have been an actual cool-looking Blackbeard kind of pirate, but she looks like she belongs in a Wulin despite the lore. In my video, I explained that she's based on the Chinese queen of pirates, Cheng Shi. So she's actually based on a real Chinese pirate queen. I think that she's fine in terms of inspiration. I actually pointed out in my Heroes in History how Cheng Shi was superior to Blackbeard in every way. So, gotta disagree on that one. My thought is the wasted potential with her was in her moveset, but that's beside the point. Hey, Raven, have you or Lark watched the 688 movie? No, I've never watched any of those. You win some, you lose some is the best mentality for PvP games. Yeah, seriously. My issue is when people are winning and they want to gloat about it, I'm like, dude, take your win. Like, if I'm playing Dead by Daylight and the survivors want to butt dance at the exit gates, I'm like, come on, man, what's the point? Or when they're playing killer. I had this one instance, it pissed me off. I think it happened on a stream. I was the last survivor and they hit me to the ground. I was downed, but they weren't picking me up and they were leading me to the hatch. I was like, oh, thank you. I'll use the hatch. But then right as I got to the hatch, they moried me and I'm like, you bitch. Well, you can't expect to win them all. Galactica from Marvel Rivals. Oh, cool. I haven't played Marvel Rivals, so I don't know. Raven, Japanese culture seems so against most of Christianity's core teachings. Do you think we'll ever make a decent conversion rate on them? Yes, we can. Japanese culture is contradictory to Christians just because of their outlook and priorities. I've done a lot of research into Japanese culture, almost specifically so I can reach out to them with the gospel. I do want a mission there. And it's fascinating when you understand the struggles the Japanese have in terms of their culture versus Christianity. So it's very fascinating. I do think that there is a way to do it, but it will not be easy. $5 from Civil War. No school today, so got to babysit my sister, but glad to catch the stream. Also, what class does everyone in your D&D group, Muscle Mommy Highlander, win? In my D&D group right now, I am playing a Centaur Paladin. Hannah is playing a Cleric Lizard Folk. And my buddy Jay is playing a Human Rogue. Wait, did we get to, yay, we got to 209, yay, we did it, now let's get to 250. There was a samurai that became a Christian, there were a lot of samurai that became Christian, but I'm talking about in today's day and age. In today's day and age, we spreading the message of Christ to Japan has its struggles because of the way the Japanese approach faith in general. When does the den start? Okay. In 38 minutes. We have 38 minutes. But yeah, so if y'all would like, I'll explain like basically the struggle of bringing the message of God to Japan. Like here's the real struggle of it. The Japanese people, the Japanese culture is highly spiritual, but it's not spiritual in the way it needs to be. And here's what I mean by that. The Japanese people kind of treat spiritualism as a ritual rather than an actual relationship. So in a Japanese family, you could be born and given a Buddhist-style birth ceremony. You could be married in a Christian church and be given a Shintoist funeral, all in your lifespan. And that's because the idea of being spiritual is important, but actually having a relationship with God is not as important. And a large reason for that is the Japanese people worship the God, they worship at the altar of prosperity. They worship at the altar of progress and success. Japanese people put so much emphasis on success that quite often this can hurt them in their relationships and their livelihoods. One of the reasons why suicide is such a big problem in Japan is because they put so much on success that if they are not successful, they see it as not only dishonorable, but harmful to their family and to themselves, and they just see death as a better option. So you'll have situations in Japan where you may have a guy who works at a business office and he's invited with the rest of his employees, with the rest of his fellow employees to go out for drinks. He doesn't have to, but if he doesn't, he could miss out on that promotion. He could miss out on working with the team or getting to know the team better. So because of that miss out, he may want to go home to his wife and kid, but, he misses out on that promotion that he desperately needs. So it starts to hurt his bottom line, so he decides to go drinking with them. This means that he spends less time at home. This means that his wife is more lonely and has to deal with more times with the kids. This means that he doesn't build up a relation with the kids. So he spent all this time separated from his family, but then let's say he still doesn't get that promotion. Well, now he's a failure at his job. He isn't making the money he needs. He's not spending enough time with his family, and now he just feels like a waste of space, so he ends up taking his own life because he feels like a failure. He feels like he did not reach the success he needed. And this is just one minor example, but a lot of Japanese people put all their time and space and logic onto we need to be successful. You have young boys in Japan who feel like they can't forge a relationship with women because when do they have time for women? So that's why the porn industry gets so big in Japan. That's why you see so much of it. Because you see all these men who don't feel like they can make it into the real world with real women, and so they give their time to their success and to their porn, which hurts them. If you were to ask a Japanese person, do you want a relationship with Jesus Christ? The usual response would be something along the lines of, well, what will that do for me? Will that make me richer? Will that give me more time with my family? What will it do for me? They don't recognize the reality they don't recognize the reality of a life after this. They see success is what I need to reach now, and everything else will take care of itself later. So to a lot of Japanese people, the idea of a relationship with God is so far from their minds because they don't see the necessity of it. The Japanese people need to recognize why God can fulfill them. The way I think my pastor put it one way, and I've heard other people put it another way, everyone has a God-sized hole in their heart. They have a God-sized hole in their heart. And everyone tries to fill that hole with something, whether it's work, family, pleasures, porn, hobbies, schooling, whatever. You fill that God-sized hole with something, but it never is fulfilling. You need God to fill that hole. And the Japanese people have been trying to fill that God-sized hole with success, pleasure, porn, media, technology, all this stuff, and it's not filling it. But when you tell them about Jesus and tell them about God and say, hey, this could fill that hole for you, they go, I don't know, man. I don't think it's going to fill this hole because it doesn't do anything for me in the immediate now. So that is a major issue with reaching the Japanese people. It's not that they're not spiritual. It's that they don't see the reason to build a relationship with God. So, yeah. So is that why sleeping outside of marriage is so rampant in Japan? Yes, it is. It is because quite a lot of times you have this issue of people not feeling the necessity of relationship, not feeling this. Like, again, it comes down to this fact of I need to be successful to provide for myself and my family. And if I can't do that, what's my point? And a lot of people are so afraid of that reality, of reaching that point, they decide, I'm not going to have a relationship, period. I'm not going to be successful, period. And then these people end up becoming shut-ins, and then they don't go out. And there's a whole Japanese culture of people who live that way. It's crazy. What's this conversation, and what's it got to do with For Honor? What in the flock of birds? Oh, I'm sorry, Pons. You must be new to the channel. Welcome. I'm Raven. We talk about all kinds of stuff here. And I had a person in the chat ask me about reaching people in Japan with Christianity, and as a Christian, I'm talking about the struggles of reaching the Japanese people because my goal is to go to Japan and witness there and actually run missions there, and I'm talking about the struggles that you see in that. We'll definitely talk about For Honor, but right now, since we're not at the stream yet, we're just having fun talking about this. I hope you enjoy your time here. We're just having a good time, but we're happy to have you if you want to join in on the conversation. Ravenite, I am Christian, but what is your biggest criticism on the way Christian faith is practiced in the West? My biggest criticism of the way Christianity is practiced in the West is that we have a lukewarm faith. We have a faith that is incredibly tolerant. And what I mean by that is this. I was actually listening to a talk just this morning on this. Tolerance as defined in the West is not tolerance that Christian teaches. The tolerance of the West is everyone's right. Everyone's right. Look, I believe in God, but you know what? Your opinion is just as valid. That's what tolerance is in the West. But that's not Christian teachings. The problem is we have a lot of Christians in the West who believe that, oh, you know what? Jesus is my way to get to heaven and get to salvation, but your way could be just as valid. And that's not the way to approach it. That's not the tolerance that Jesus taught. Jesus taught this. Jesus taught this tolerance. Love your enemy. You can disagree. You can disagree with each other, but you love your enemy anyway. See, keep in mind, Jesus was nailed to a cross, and the prayer he said was, God, Father, forgive them, they know not what they do. That is tolerance. You put up with the difference. You put up with the differentiation. I have friends who do not believe the same thing I do, and they'll say, hey, do you believe in God? Yep. I don't believe in God. Okay. What, do you hate me? No. But you disagree with me? Yes. Well, why aren't you more tolerant? I am tolerant. I said you can disagree. You can disagree with me. You can believe what you want to believe. As long as you're not trying to force me to agree with your belief, we can get along just fine. But I'm not going to play the game of everyone's way to God is valid, because that's not what I believe. I don't believe that everyone's way to God is valid. I believe that there is one way to God. Now, if you disagree with me, fine, you're free to disagree, and we can even have a conversation. But I'm still going to respect you and love you because that's what God's called me to do. That's tolerance. But the Western Christianity, the aspect of Western Christianity that is bothering me is way too many churches are going down this new Western tolerance of, look, everyone's right. Everyone's right. This is our way to get to God. This is our way to heaven, but everyone's right. No, that's heretical. That's blasphemous. That flies in the face of the Bible. So that is the aspect of Western Christianity that I have issue with. That's where I get to it. Raven, who's your favorite single singer, and what's your favorite band for anime music alone? My favorite single singer is probably Divide Music, and he's probably also my favorite band for anime alone. Although I would also say Daddy Fat Snaps is also pretty awesome, because he's one of the few rappers that I actually really like. As Christians, we are called to love all, not agree with all. Exactly, Ducky Dale. That's exactly right. I think there are multiple ways, but some don't work. From the way the Bible says, Jesus straight up says, I'm the way and the truth and the light. No one comes to the Father except through me. That's what the Bible says. That's what Jesus said. So I put my faith in Jesus on that one. Father Raven saying the truth. Preach, brother! I didn't mean to turn this into a sermon, but that's what it turned into. Hey, Raven, the show Murder Drones has a little bit of Christian stuff like demons and monsters. I've never watched Murder Drones, and I don't really have any interest. Raven, I know if it's off topic, but any news about the Christian dating sim you streamed a while ago? I'm actually in their Discord server, and it's pretty cool. We haven't had any updates yet, but they're really good people. I actually got to talk with the developers. They're really nice. And no, I'm not on their development team. Like, that'd be awesome. Like, hey, let me sit down and help y'all out. No, I'm not there. The Father, I mean Odin. No, Father isn't God. You know, the Trinity. The Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit. Hey, Raven, where did Christians think of the Vikings? What did Christians think of the Vikings in their culture? They thought that it was backwards and polytheistic and they needed to be saved. And the Vikings actually converted. Many Vikings actually converted. Now, some tried to adjust their faith to allow for Christians, but after a while, that got too complicated, and a lot of them converted because Christianity was honestly easier to follow than their polytheistic beliefs. I would be careful using the word blasphemous. It's kind of extreme. I think Christ and God do not like extremes. Blasphemy is a real thing, and we can talk about extremes, but saying Christ and God do not like extremes. Okay, let's talk about extremes. There is right and there is wrong. Those are two extremes. You cannot have a middle ground there. There is not, this is half right and half right. No, there's right and there's wrong. Is Jesus the Son of God? Well, there's only two ways to look at that. He either is or he isn't. Those are your extremes. You can't have it, well, he sort of is, but sort of isn't. No. Is Jesus the Son of God? Is he the Messiah? Yes or no? Those are your extremes. If you believe in Jesus, will you go to heaven or will you go to hell? Those are your two extremes. There is no, you might get, you kind of start, no, those are two extremes. We like to use the term extreme. I say blasphemous because what does blasphemy mean? Blasphemy is misuse of or twisting of the teachings. So you either misuse and twist the teachings, which is blasphemy, or you don't. I've met too many Christians who, I didn't get to read that. Hold on. I've met too many Christians who's not to associate or be around people who aren't the same religion as they. Too times I got a rejection from women who were upset I was Theravada Buddhist. Well, I'm sorry that Christians treated you that way, Pons. They shouldn't do that. Christians should not mistreat people just because of what they believe. So I'm sorry that you had to deal with that. That is not the correct way that Christians should act. We should learn to be kind to all people because that's what Jesus called us to do. And I'm sorry that you dealt with that, but I will not treat you that way. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm not here to convert you. If you think that this is a Bible study session where I'm trying to teach you to follow the way, I'm not. I mean, if you want to have a conversation, we can. I don't mind reaching out and talking about it. We totally can. But I'm just here answering questions. I'm not here to mistreat you or anything that you believe. You believe what you want to believe. I'm just here teaching my faith to others. Hey, Raven, if pagan gods were real but bent in the knee to God, would they be welcome to his court, fulfilling a role similar to angels? If they bent in the knee to God, well, according to the Bible, all things on heaven and earth were created by God. So if the pagan gods were real, they were created by God. And therefore they would have to bend the knee to God eventually anyway. Because according to the book of Revelation, it says, every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus Christ is Lord. That includes the spiritual. And, of course, if the pagan gods were real, if they were like spirits or demons or something like that, and they bent the knee to God, that would be acknowledging his divinity. So I don't know if they'd be welcome into his court, because salvation was offered to us who were created by God, to us children of God. A lot of people converted because of the Crusades and such who forced them to do so, or they were wrong or stuck down. There's been way more negative outlook revolving Christianity around the world. Yes, there was times of forced conversions by Christianity. I won't deny that. But there's also forced conversions by Islam. There's also been forced conversions by atheists. Like, if we want to play the game of, well, if Christians forcibly converted people, there were instances of that, yes. There were also forcible conversions by atheists who went around and demanded that people give up their faith and renounce God. There were conversions by Muslims before the Crusades even started. I would look into the jizya. I would look into dhimmis in Muslim society in the ancient days. Yeah, there's been bad on all sides. But if we want to play the game of Christianity bad because they do bad things in past, I can play that game with any faith you want to. Christians should be humble about their belief. Christians should be outspoken about their belief, but they should be humble to all. If the pagan gods were created by God, could they have been the fallen who roamed earth, fooling the creations of God that they were gods? That's possible. That's possible. Forced conversion is just what happens with all religions. There are going to be people in this world who misuse their faith. There are going to be people in this world who use their faith to do horrible things. That's what it is with Christianity, Islam, Judaism, Buddhism, Hinduism, Shintoism, Rastafarianism, atheism. Everyone of some belief is going to do a horrible thing. And if we judge the whole religion based on the horrible things of a few people, then we will not get a full understanding of the faith. To understand the faith, you need to go to their texts. You need to go to their books. You need to go to their teachings. That's what you have to do. If you judge the faith based on the actions of a few in certain periods of time, you'll never understand the faith. Matthew 10:16, behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves, but ye therefore rise as serpents and harmless as doves. Yes, correct. Any religion can be accused of forcing themselves on others. It's everywhere in history. Even atheists do it. They are threatened by the idea of a greater good beyond themselves. Very true, Pawns. This is very true. Everyone does it. Everyone does it. And I don't think it's good. We shouldn't force conversion. In fact, Jesus told us not to do that. We shouldn't force it on anyone. That's not the goal. If you you can't force love. That's the thing. You cannot force love. Love has to be a conscious decision. Like, people ask me all the time, like, can you make someone love you? Like, no, you can't make someone love. Love is an action. Love is a choice you have to make. It is not a forcible thing. You could put a gun to my head and say, renounce God. Even if I said it with my mouth, my heart wouldn't agree with it, There are plenty of people who could be forced to convert, but they don't believe it in their hearts, Like, you can't force belief. Belief has to be taught and studied and brought up. Like, even though I was raised in a Christian family, it took me years to truly understand what I believed. What's my take on Jehovah's Witnesses? I've had debates with Jehovah's Witnesses. I had a Jehovah's Witness come to my home when I was, I think it was my third or fourth year in college. They came to my home while I was at home visiting family. And I said, come on in, let's have a talk. They didn't like my talk. I asked them questions they didn't want to answer. I think it's in the West, Christians have a tendency to be extremely harsh in the way they treat non-Christians, especially in the southern U.S. where I'm from. Ducky, I live in the southern U.S. too, and my church doesn't do that. I can't speak to what you've encountered, but not all in the southern U.S. are like that. I'm definitely not like that. I think that there are people who are overly harsh, for sure. I think that there's definitely a lot of harshness to be had, but again, we shouldn't we shouldn't judge the faith based on the actions of the few. Hey, Raven, I watched an animated movie on Esther the other day. Was she really a voice of God? Was Esther a voice of God? No. She was not a voice of God. I mean, then again, what do you mean by a voice of God? Like, are you saying that she spoke with God's voice, or are you saying that she was like an analogy to Jesus? Because I've heard that before, and there's an argument to be made there. Raven, have you listened to Johnny Cash's song, The Man Comes Around? And if you have, what are the Bible verses about the song? I have not heard that song. Yet weren't many religious texts were altered by people who use religion the wrong way, therefore changing the religion as a whole for future beliefs. And what you need to do in those cases is you need to analyze the history and writers of the text. For example, there are lots of books that could have been in the Bible that were not added later on because they were found to be inaccurate or contradictory. It took a long time to build the canon Bible as we do today because we had to look at the authors, we had to look at the time period, we had to look at the authenticity, we had to compare notes. The Bible we have today is about as complete as it could possibly be, but there were lots of other books that were not added because they had contradictions, because they were written by people who had ulterior motives. So you're not wrong. There are some texts and books out there today who speak a faith that is not accurate. Like, that's something I'd say about Mormonism. I'd say that Mormonism is one of those, and we can have that conversation another day. But my point being, the Bible is written in such a way today because it took so long for the scholars and the religious leaders and the individuals who worked on this to be able to find what was canon, what was accurate, what was spiritual, and what wasn't. Raven, what system or mechanic do you think Hotun will have? Honestly, I'm thinking something similar to Aramusha. What's the first abolitionist, a Spanish priest who formerly owned a slave in the... Wasn't the first abolitionist a Spanish priest who formerly owned a slave in the Caribbean? I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure. Is in Hell of a Boss, the character Asmodeus, the sin of lust, talks about that love isn't about force. Okay, I haven't watched that much of Hell of a Boss. I think I've only seen like 2 episodes of it before I just gave up on it. Okay, so Asmodeus, the sin of lust, says that love isn't about force. I find it ironic that an individual who's all about lust would even talk about love, because love and lust are not the same thing. They're not the same. What's my primary denomination? I'm Southern Baptist, but I don't look at denominations in the sense of one is right, one is wrong. I look at it in terms of denominations should all teach the same principles, like the same basic tenets about God. You excited for the next Girl Boss Gender Locked Hero? Yeah, I'm totally excited, Pons. I'm totally excited. It's going to be awesome. The dumb and aggressive tend to be loud and most noticeable. That goes for most group reputations. Yeah. We give microphones to the wrong people. Right, when I meant like she spoke with God's voice. When? Like Tech, Esther said a lot of things. When do you think she spoke with God's voice? Because there was a moment in her life where she definitely didn't speak with God's voice, where she was hesitant to do what she needed to do. What's my thought on communion? I partake in communion. I partake in communion when we have it at my church. I don't think that I think the communion is it's more of a ritual than it is a physical, like, I don't think it changes you spiritually. I think it's just something as a reminder. Like, I think it's something as a reminder to remember what Jesus did for us. Do me a quick favor and look in the media channel of your Discord. Okay. I'll take a look. 1 second, guys. I've been asked to take a look at the media channel on my Discord. Apparently there's something there that I need to see. Media channel. Share your media? Okay. What am I looking for? I don't know what I'm looking for. Anyway. Hey, Annie. Good to see you. How's Havoc doing? We're having a very interesting conversation today. And tell Havoc, tell Havoc I said I appreciate what he did last night. He really helped me out. And y'all know more about that later. But tell Havoc I really appreciate what he did. The most recent pick. Cute cat. Very cute cat. So as a Catholic, truly believe that Jesus Christ is sharing himself with the when he takes communion? I don't think it's literal. Oh, $9.99 from P-Tier Griffin. Good morning, Raven. Super excited to see the new hero. The Mongol aesthetic is wicked cool. Hope you have a nice stream. Well, thank you very much, P-Tier Griffin. I hope to have a great stream today, and we're going to have a good time. Yeah, I had to make him a strong coffee this morning. Oh, he needed that strong brew, didn't he? He needed to have a cup of tea this morning, didn't he? Ah, bruv, he needed himself a good cup of tea. You can't have yourself a proper stream without that, bruv. I know he loves my British accent. I will do another stream very soon where I'm speaking in a very posh manner. I won't. God save the king and all that palaver. I'm such an idiot. Raven, what does this mean? And I heard as it was the noise of thunder, one of the four beasts saying, come and see, and I saw and behold a white horse. That is from the book of Revelation. That is about that is about one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. I don't know much more than that. He helped me with the test server for Hotun, didn't he? He helped you with the test server for Hotun, didn't he? He helped me save a video that I was struggling with. Raven, you sound like the Penguin.
No, if I wanted to sound like the Penguin, I'd sound a lot more Cockney in me accent, I would. And it also add a little bit gravel to it, because the Penguin's a chain smoker, he is.
I'm not excited for Girl Boss. I like to have the flexibility and creativity of having switchable gender heroes. It hurts the immersiveness if I can have better creativity with that hero. Pawns, you should have been here earlier. We actually had that conversation. Can I pet that dog in the British accent in a firm face?
Can I pet that dog? Can I pet that dog? Bring it over here, mate. Oh, it's a right proper beauty, that is.
So is praying to Mary, Mother of God, idolatry? I guess my question in that sense, Jonathan, is why would you pray to Mother Mary? What is she? What is holy about her that she deserves praise and worship? That would be my question. Where in the Bible does it say she is worthy of praise? Now I sound like an orc from Warhammer 40. Well, the orcs in Warhammer 40K were based on British footballers, believe it or not. Have I ever played Darksiders? No, I haven't, but I've heard about it. Is Killer Croc Southern? I think he's from Louisiana. Wait, that was the most accurate attempt at British accent that I've ever heard from an American. Literally almost every American I've met has done it the second they hear me.
We understand, Adam, when I'm doing my British accent, I'm doing the best I can to sound as cockney and silly as I possibly can. Because the fact is, the British language, well, British accent rather, is true English. Because being English is not about where you're from. It's a state of mind. And in order to speak with the proper British accent, you got to be in the British state of mind. I believe that Avic would agree with that. That's Avic's way of doing it. And that's how I do it.
God, I'm going to do a whole stream sometime where I just talk like that. Hey, Raven, how can we get into contact with your over Discord? I don't have a verified account, but I have a topic that I can... I can, at the end of the stream, I'll post my Discord link. Raven Knight, if you hadn't discovered Muay Thai, what would have been your choice of martial art? I trained in Tiger Kung Fu and Karate and Capoeira for a little bit, but I didn't really get as into those. I don't know. If I didn't find Muay Thai, I might not have done much martial arts. Favorite Xenos? All Xenos need to be purged in the name of the Emperor. Hey guys, I'm finally watching Avatar: Last Airbender. Should I prepare to be empty once I'm done with the series? I don't know how to answer that. Wait, didn't Havoc say those words a while back? I don't know. She literally gave birth to our Savior Jesus Christ. We don't worship her. We ask for her prayers to save us. Why? No, Jonathan, I'm dead serious. Why? Why should we ask Mary to intercede on our behalf? Why should we ask anyone to intercede on our behalf? If Jesus wants a personal relationship with us, why should we ask anyone else to pray? Why would going to Mary make Jesus happy? Like, shouldn't we go to Jesus personally? Why can't we just say, Jesus, I got a prayer to talk to you about? Because the Bible says in the book of Philippians, lay all of your anxiety before God. That's Philippians 4, 6 through 9. Lay all your anxieties before God, not before Mary, not before a saint, before God. God doesn't want, like when Jesus died on the cross, the veil was ripped. There is no intercession anymore. You don't need to go through channels or through the proper sources to pray on our behalf. God wants to talk to you, man. He wants to have a word with you. Why would I go to Mary and say, hold on, Jesus, I'm not worthy to talk to Jesus. Let me talk to your mom. Why does that make any sense? Where is that laid out in the Bible? Where in the Bible was it said, Mother Mary is a woman that you need to pray to? You need to pray to Mother Mary to intercede on our behalf. See, that's the reason I don't agree with praying to Mother Mary. Not because I don't think she was an important woman. She was. She did important things. But I don't pray to Moses. I don't pray to Elijah. I don't pray to any of these people because they are not worthy of praise. There's only one person worthy of praise, and that is Jesus. He's the only person worthy of prayer. Why? Because he's God, and God wants a relationship with you. Praying to Mary is a way to leave a message for Jesus when he's not at the phone. I hope you're joking, man. Same reason I would ask you to pray for me. Okay, if you ask me to pray for you, who am I going to pray to? Jesus. So if I'm praying to Mother Mary, who's not in the same room with me, who's not on the phone with me, why wouldn't I just pray to Jesus? Like, that's the thing. If you call me up and say, hey, man, I'm going through a really rough time, would you mind praying for me? Sure. Sure, absolutely. I'll pray for you. And we'll both pray to God. We'll both work our way through this. If I'm on my knees and praying, why would I go to Mary? I just go to God. Was it difficult for you to find Jesus and God? Oh, that's a great question, Royal Jester. That's a great question. I was raised in a Christian family, so I was always kind of, hold on, let me check our time. We got 10 minutes, okay. I was raised in a Christian family, so I was always raised to read the Bible and all that, but I didn't fully accept it until I was much older because I didn't understand it. It took me time and a lot of effort to really understand Christ and the Bible. And there are days, and even to this day, I still treat it as a walk. I'm still learning. I'm still walking through it. I am by no means a priest or a pastor. I never went to seminary. I still have a lot to learn. So I'm not going to sit here and claim I'm an authority. It took me a long time, and I'm still walking this walk. So it's not an easy journey. Would I pray to Crom? Crom! How much longer until stream starts? We got 10 minutes. You're essentially asking someone who is closer to Jesus than you. Why am I not close to Jesus if he dwells in me? Why not just talk to Jesus? Why can't I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ? No, again, I'm being dead serious. Why are we treating Mary like she's closer to Jesus than I am? In fact, what was funny is this is addressed in the Bible. There was a moment where Jesus was performing miracles, right? And someone shouted out to Jesus, hey, Jesus, your mom and brothers are here. And Jesus said, who is my mother? Who are my brothers? And he looked at the crowd around him and said, these are my mother and my brothers. Mary was an important woman because she was chosen to give birth to Jesus on earth, but she is not worthy of prayer. Jesus is. That's what I'm saying. Do I think Jesus would get along with Wukong? Probably not. Wukong's a little too crazy. Please give me your best throat singing attempt. I can't sing in Mongolian, but I can do a throat sing. I can go. I can do that. Mary is sinless, so she is who? Mary is not sinless. Mary is not sinless. Tell me where that was said in the Bible. Mary is not sinless. Where was that said in the Bible? Where was that said in the Bible? I need you to give me a verse. I don't believe that. The Bible called her blessed among women. It did not say she was sinless.
Did I just hear an accretion?
Yep, that's an accretion. Good enough singing attempt. Well, I'm not a throat singer. I'm not trained in that. $5 from Tech Girl. I enjoy your Bible studies because I don't grow up with that, and I thank you for sharing it. You're very welcome, and thank you for the $5. Raven, just a thought. I have, when we walk the way of God, isn't our whole life a walk to learn the way of God? The Christian walk is never ending. According to the Bible, nobody was sinless except for Jesus. Correct. That is correct, Shotokan. That is correct. I'm not Christian, but is it okay to praise Mary because she was the vessel of Jesus? It's okay to venerate her. It's okay to say, hey, Mary was a very special woman, but she's not God.
I mean, she's probably the most important woman to ever have existed, but to say she's sinless, that, I think, is a bridge too far. Because I also heard people claim that she was immaculately conceived herself.
Yes, some people have tried to argue that she too was born. She was born of a virgin. She was not. Here's the thing: Mary was an important person because she was chosen by God to give birth to Jesus. That does not make her worthy of worship or praise. That's the issue I have. And look, if you're Catholic and you believe that she is, fine. I'm not going to criticize you, but I am going to have that conversation. You know. Sometimes it feels like Protestants worship the Bible and not God. I totally piss every Protestant in this chat. Jonathan, I need you to chill a moment and listen to me. You haven't pissed me off. I'm just asking you to prove to me in the Bible where it says that. If the Bible is the Word of God, then we have to follow the Bible. Here's the problem, Jonathan. If you think that there is another source for God's Word than the Bible, I need you to give it to me and prove its divinity. See, Jonathan, you don't get to do that. You don't get to say, oh, you Protestants worship the Bible more than God. No, we treat the Bible as the Word of God. So now, what is your other source besides the Bible? Because that was your challenge. I said, where in the Bible does it say that Mary was sinless? You need to take that and prove it to me. You have not done that. You've instead said, oh, you Protestants only care about the Bible. Why do we care about the Bible, Jonathan? What's important about the Bible? Is it not the Word of God? Is it not what God gave us to learn about Him? So if you're going to make the argument, Mary was sinless, I need a Bible verse. I need something to prove that. You didn't do that. You instead said, I've pissed off the Protestants. Well, maybe it's because what you're saying needs to be validated.
And also, I do find it interesting to say, like, oh, Protestants worship the Bible. It's like, are we praying to the Bible? Are we worshiping, like, how are we worshiping the Bible? That's a good question, because I've heard Catholics say, it's like, oh, well, we don't pray to Mother Mary, we just ask her for intercession. And that's,
yeah.
And I don't necessarily agree with that, but I understand that. But you're going to say, oh, sending up a prayer to Mary or any of the saints, that's not worshiping them. But us trying to take the Bible so seriously, that's worshiping the Bible. It's like, no, because when a Catholic priest goes over the Bible and he's like, hey, man, you got to follow this verse, are you saying he's worshiping that Bible? No. I think that Catholics, Orthodox, and Protestants should take the Bible very seriously, and I think the majority of the priests of those respective denominations do.
Well, here's the thing. Shotokan, you're right. I'm getting heated. I will calm down. The reason I got heated was because me and Lark have been seeing a lot of this lately from Catholic YouTube channels where they know, because here's the thing. If the argument is that we Protestants worship the Bible, I've seen way too many Catholics worship hating Protestants. There was a channel that me and my brother followed for a while. He used to be a really great Christian channel, but now he's converted to Catholicism, and most of his channel is now just bashing Protestants, not spreading the message. So I don't want to see that happen here. I'm having a discussion. The question was about Mother Mary. I've given my thoughts on Mother Mary. And now when the argument has been made that Mother Mary was sinless, I have asked for evidence. Evidence was not provided, and instead, Protestants just worship the Bible. That is an attack on us since I am Protestant. And I'm like, okay, enough with the attacks. I asked for evidence. Don't come at me and say, you just worship the Bible. Give me the evidence. Now, I'm not going to have this discussion anymore. Like you said, I'm getting heated, so we're going to calm down. We're not going to do this anymore. I'm not here to attack Jonathan for what he believes. I asked for evidence on a point, but if he's not going to give it, I'm not going to keep asking for it. We're done with this discussion. So, we're moving on. We're getting back to For Honor because we only have a few minutes before the For Honor stream starts, so we're going to get ready for that. We are going to get ready for that. My thoughts on a warrior bishop hero? It's kind of what Black Prior is, since he's a prior.
Upon prior review.
Honestly, the Bible was rewritten numerous times, so that voids it from any belief, in my opinion.
Okay, I'm back now. Okay, so here's the problem with that. It wasn't rewritten. Because here's the thing, like, you can actually see a pretty good trail of the historical text back to, like, what we have is the closest to the original fragments. And if you look at it, it's relatively close. One of even, like, the big things that is even been brought up in discussions, like, the Dead Sea Scrolls are pretty good, because Scroll of Isaiah, for example. The previous oldest version we had of that was the Masoretic text, which was 1,000 years old. But the Isaiah scroll we found in the Dead Sea Scrolls was very, very close. Sure, there were a lot of spelling differences and a few other variations, but the meaning behind both was pretty much identical. Yeah. So if you're saying it's like, well, this has been rewritten, it's kind of like, okay, what specifically has been rewritten? That's a big claim to make. Because if it's like a grammatical change, that's not too big a deal. If it's like saying, the whole meaning has been changed, then that's something that needs to be addressed.
Right. All right. So we're going to put a pin in that. It is time. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to screen viewing. 1 second, guys. All right, how about now? Like I said, guys, this isn't okay, I think we got it. Did we get it?
Still waiting. There we go.
All right. Sorry about that. Like I said, this isn't my normal computer, so all of my normal settings were not set, so I had to get that fixed. All right, we got it. All right. Audio is back on. We're ready to go. All right, we're good. Okay. Now the real question will be if it catches the audio from the stream. That'll be the real test.
If not, you're going to have to learn how to read lips there, bud.
I hear it on my end. Do y'all hear it? We've got audio. Can y'all hear it all right? Let me check. Ooh, I got desktop audio reading. Can y'all hear me over the music? Can y'all hear both of us fine? Okay, cool. Y'all can hear me and it. Would you double check that, Lord? Make sure. Because I trust you. Not that I don't trust them, but that way I can hear it myself. The stream actually starts at 12? Yeah, I know. Yep. All right, guys, come on. We got to get to 250. I want to get to 250 viewers. What the? Uh-oh. No. Okay, there it goes. He's buffer. I'm 3 times louder than the stream. Oh, I'm sorry. It is, that's true, but I'm worried about this buffering that's going on. It constantly pauses to buffer. That's not on us, is it? Maybe, I don't know, but it's buffering a lot. Like, it's buffering a lot. I don't know why it's doing that. Here, let's refresh the page, see if that fixes the problem. So far, so good. No buffering. All right, so far so good. I think it's working now. I don't know why it was doing that. Raven, I'm in the stream on my Xbox. It's buffering there too. Oh, okay, so it wasn't just me. Havoc's got 796 watchers. Holy shit. Havoc, you're awesome, dude. Oh, $10 from No. First time catching Warriors Den. Hotun looks fun from first blush. Hope she plays well. I hope so too, man. Thank you for the $10. Thank you for the $10. Oh, and I got $10 earlier from someone. Hold on, what was this? From Jonathan. I am sorry, Raven. That was uncalled for. I beg your forgiveness. Oh, dude, I forgive you. It's fine. No hard feelings. It's fine. Yeah, debates are way better than conflict. Yeah. For whenever you're free, take your time. I've asked you a question on Discord. Well, while we wait, I can take a look. Where's the question? Like, is it on Ask Raven? Where did you ask the question, Royal? I don't see it. You check the stream and the buffering might be on my end. Well, it looks like it's fixed now. Like, I'm not having any buffering now. Thank you for the Bible discussion earlier. Ah, well, it kind of came up in conversation. I don't control how these pre-stream discussions go. I'm just here for the fun. Or to say it in the Who style, fingers hurt. It's in DMs. Okay, 1 second. I'll check my DMs. Okay, here it is.
It's a great day for tacos. Next tacos.
Raymond, I'm at a bit of a crossroads. I was working if you could help. I might believe to ask for more for it. Okay. Royal Jester, I just read over your question. That's a topic we need to discuss elsewhere. We can discuss this another time. Oh, $5 from Taco Seller. It's a great day for tacos and invasion. Thank you, Taco Seller. Thank you for the donation. Any donation is always appreciated. But yeah, Jester, that is a conversation we're not going to have right now just because we're in the middle of the stream. But later on, after I've had some time to pray on it and think about it, I will answer that question. It's a good question. It's something that a lot of people need to ask, but we not the right time right now. But I will answer it. The new hero is an Outlander? Yes. Do I think the Lord Warden will return? Probably not. Probably not. Right now, I just want them to announce in the stream that we are getting a year 9, because that's what I want them to say. Because if they say, guys, sorry to say, last year of updates, I'm gonna go, no! I'm gonna shoot myself. Just like, don't do it for honor! Raven, should I go make some eggs and bacon? Well, it's almost 12 o'clock here, like... Is there a practical reason new swords are curved? Yeah, they're Toko-Mongol sabers. You usually want to use them on horseback because a curved sword is very useful when riding on horseback to slash at the enemy. What do I think the new hero's unique mechanic is going to be? Horsepower! No, every time they do an execution, the Who just starts playing. Fingers hot. Bro, For Honor can't die. It's my favorite game. I know! What's your opinion on the upcoming Final Fantasy VII remake? Okay. The only Final Fantasy game I've ever played was Final Fantasy 13. Go ahead and kill me for it if you want, but I only played 13. I know. I actually like 13. I know a lot of people hate it. I enjoyed it. But maybe it's because I'm not familiar with the franchise as a whole, but I like 13. Space Pope annoyed me. But then again, Space Popes have a usually annoy me. in like anime and video games. What is it with the Japanese video game and anime industry making all popes evil? Like Rising of the Shield Hero, Final Fantasy. Just find a guy, dress him up like a pope, and make him evil. Who do I think is a stronger warrior, Guan Yu or Lu Bu? Oh man, I'm gonna say Lu Bu is the better hero, but is a stronger warrior. But Guan Yu is the stronger general. Agrius Wolfbane, $20. Good morning, everyone. Let's raise our banners for our Mongol mama and the new White Scar build this Raven's gonna make. Oh, you ain't kidding. Oh, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, $20. Thank you so much. Really, guys, this is very kind of you. Thank you for all your donations. It's really helping me out. I might pay rent this week, this month.
And just like that, I'm raising your rent.
No, Lark, don't do it. Raven, you have a PC. Don't you please allow me to get you Final Fantasy VII Remake? No, Shotokan, I no longer have a PC. My PC is dead. I'm using my brother's loaner PC right now. If it's on PS5, I might get it, but if you buy it for me, I will play it, but otherwise, I can't. I'm not buying any new games right now. Not until I save up enough money to pay my rent and pay for a new PC. Yeah, I'm financially in trouble, but we'll get out of it. We will get out of it. We will get out of it. Hulk Hogan. I prefer Macho Man Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah!
Brother.
It is a PS5 and PC exclusive. Well, I do have PS5. $10 from Corwin. Thank you for your content. Love your stuff. Thank you for the $10, Corwin. Thank you so much. Wish I could donate, but oh, we got a thing. We got a thing, guys. Increase full screen. Here we go. I'm shutting up.
Peace. You fight for something you do not understand.
Getting rid of that.
All you reap is chaos. Wolves. Sheep. You are but untamed beasts.
Get rid of that. Oh, I love her look. It's just, let's go! $5 from Silverwolf. The forced rent is to play D&D when Lark wants you to. Yep. Oh, love the bloody look of the ice. That looks so sick.
The Serpent Sword Hero reveal! Ah!
What's up, Warriors? Welcome to the final title update of Year 8. Man, do we've got some spicy stuff to show today. I'm so excited joining me today. Nolan, JC, how you both doing?
Doing great.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Good.
Yeah.
Doing good. That's amazing.
I don't know why I'm here in the first segment there, but
Why are you
I have
here?
feelings because I have I have this fan club.
Oh,
It's the second coming of
People are loving me.
but sure, they were.
Praise
Yeah, that's
JC!
right,
He's
so
here. You don't
I'm
have to
here.
wait.
We thought we'd
You
try
don't have to
something,
worry
yeah.
about if I'm going to be here or
Yeah.
not. I'm here. It's all good.
He's here. He's
You
not
can
going
chill.
anywhere.
You can chill.
You can rest assured.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
Exactly.
Well, we're happy to have you here. I'm happy to be here. And folks, listen, before we dive too much deeper into the ginormous title update, this Warriors Den we have today, we got to talk about Twitch. All right?
Thank you,
And
Hannah.
specifically
Appreciate
Twitch
it. I
drops.
did make
Okay,
200.
so
If we make
have not done
300,
so
I'll be
already,
so happy.
Please go.
I might
to
sing.
Connect ID to your
If we make
Twitch account.
300, I'll
That way,
sing.
For every 30 minutes you're with us today, you're going to get a scavenger crate.
Lark's
At
looking
the
at me
end
like,
of the
don't
show,
do
We're
it.
going to pick some lucky winners to win a grand prize of either 100K steel
Oh,
or
Patrick.
the new hero, the Hotun.
I'd like to win the hero.
You would?
I would too.
I'd like to win.
Maybe we can arrange that. for
JC,
you.
you're always a winner, man. JC,
We'll talk
everyone
to-
let
we'll
JC
talk-
know
we'll
he's a
take that.
winner.
Make sure you can play.
JC, you're a winner,
We'll
man.
make a note. We'll make a note. Good.
You're already a
We also
winner.
wanted to be transparent and provide the drop rate information of the
Oh, yeah.
different rarities of gear you can get for honor. So absolutely.
Are they
nothing
too
is
quiet? Oh, I'm
changing,
sorry.
so
Hold
if you
on.
want
I'll
more
fix that.
information on this or that topic, you can visit
I'll
our
fix
website
that.
tomorrow. There'll be some stuff there for you to see.
Very
We
cool.
also
That
had
should do it.
Friend or
A
Foe
little
wrap
more.
up this past weekend.
Oh my gosh.
This was our 1v1 tournament. It's the
There we
culmination
go.
of
That
the
should do it.
entire circuit. I Love Bears won.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What were
it
you
was
seeing if we get to 300?
Crazy hype.
We'll figure out when we get
Everything
there.
that happened there,
Yeah.
amazing. Like honestly, it was like super tight matches.
Yeah.
Everything was super interesting.
Yeah.
Good job to everybody involved there. But
I'll sing O Come O Come Emmanuel in Latin. How about
Did we
that?
check out the bracket as well? Yeah, you could see I Love Bears just went
I'll sing O Come O Come
all the way
Emmanuel in
through.
Latin if we reach
No bracket
300. But you
reset
got to get me to
necessary.
300.
Yeah, it
all
was
the way through.
the level of play with those contenders there was just amazing to watch.
Yeah.
Like I was on the edge of my seat, like no joke, just like watching on the Twitch. It's like yeah,
Yeah.
no. It's so good.
Yeah. I want to say a big thank you to our tournament organizers, Spandard and Nutella, and also all of our casters and analysts. So we had Vivid, Verb, Freeze, Norgaz, Jones. There's a bunch of people who casted not only on our channel, but over on the Dojo channel as well. So none of this was possible without all your hard work. So thank
Right.
you very, very much.
Thank you.
Amazing. Yeah. We've got some awesome stuff coming up in the show. Let's check out the agenda. What are we looking at today? Got our new hero with a deep dive on the lore, gameplay.
We'll be there for that.
Animation as well. We'll be taking a closer look at our new hero's design as well with one of our texture artists. Super excited for that. We have Carl and Luke here to go over all the music that was created for Year 8. So we're doing kind of like a Year 8 review of all the music.
Nice.
Very excited. Got some patch notes, of course. Can't forget that. And of course, the community corner at the very end with
Love it.
Jet and Josh.
Love it.
Awesome.
All right.
Something else that's cool is coming this title update are Steam achievements, and these are actually retroactive. So if you already
that-
completed them, yeah, you could show
No way,
that
this
too. We also have.
What's this?
We're going to be on Steam Deck as well. We are currently on Steam Deck.
Here we go.
We're on
Yeah.
Steam Deck?
Cool,
Oh,
cool.
cool.
Hell yeah!
Gotta play right now.
But yeah, these achievements are retroactive. So if you've already done the stuff to complete them, you'll be just unlocking stuff. So yeah, pretty
Awesome.
cool.
Very cool.
We also have a free week starting tomorrow. Hell yeah, look at this. So
Ooh.
from January 23rd to January 30th, For Honor will be free on Xbox, PlayStation, and UB Connect. But the free week period will end slightly later on UB Connect. It'll actually end on the February 3rd. So there's a bit extra time on UB Connect. So
Cool.
if you haven't played For
So
Honor,
it's going to be
and
free
you
for a
wanna
little
try it
while,
out,
guys.
It's free.
Get it while you
all
can.
your friends to download it and
Yeah.
play with you.
You heard him. You heard
There's
the man.
no
Very
excuses.
important.
No excuses. All right. It's free. That was a really cool graphic too. I hadn't seen that. That
I
was
like
really neat.
I like
That
that.
was nice. Good stuff.
But yeah, before we jump into all this stuff, JC, you know you're not usually in the intro. So what
Yeah, no,
what
of
are
course.
you doing here? What are you doing here?
Well, besides for my fan club, you mean?
That's
Yeah.
true. We did
Okay, yeah.
establish that.
So I'm super excited to announce.
Oh.
Kind of cool.
Huh?
We do have a year 9 happening.
Yeah!
Check it
Super
out.
hyped.
Yeah!
You see our beautiful key art there. There might not be a lot of little things that you internet sleuths can like go. So I would say like look at it, use it as your wallpaper, print it, put it all over your walls in your house, like go crazy, like inspect every little detail.
Tattoo it on your arm.
Yeah, everything. It's awesome. The art actually looks really cool.
The art does look good. Like, not even kidding.
And yeah, so super psyched. There's gonna be a lot more details coming as we kick off year 9.
Yeah.
Year 9, guys. We
future,
got
But
another
I'm
year
just super
9.
happy to be able to announce to people that we're gonna have it at year 9. Right?
So exciting.
It's always good to have. We've been working on a lot of stuff there, so I can't wait to show people. what
Oh, good. I'm so happy, guys. We
So
got
yeah,
a year 9
keep an eye out
coming.
for the
For Honor
next
lasts
year's
another
Year
year.
9
Let's
so
go!
We'll be talking about Year 9 stuff. So if you want to come back then, please do.
Always show up for Warriors then.
Always show up for
Always.
Warriors.
Always show up for Warriors Den. That's rule. JC has spoken. In the gospel of
But yeah, folks, we
JC.
got an awesome show today.
Can I get a yes, sir?
First, let's check
Yes,
out
sir. Yes,
this
sir.
new
Yes, sir. Yes,
gameplay
sir.
trailer for the Hotun. Super excited.
All right, let's rock.
Take it away, Max.
All right, let's see this.
Vikings call us the Arner. The samurai speak of Ankoku. And the knights. You think of something that can be fought. Ego. Darkness. Ally. Enemy. Call us what you want. Look upon us now. In the flesh. It's already too late. Your leaders have fallen.
Oh my God.
Your lands belong to us. You lost. Behold my peace.
my god.
Now comes
Deflex!
the end of the Hotun.
Yeah! Yeah! Okay, sold. That was awesome. That was awesome. You should have seen my face. My mouth was like hanging open the whole time. That was so sick. Oh my gosh, I'm actually grinning so big. That was so cool. Oh, Lark, I know you couldn't hear it because I have my headphones in. I'll play it for you later. That was awesome. The dialogue was sick. Like, and I like how she basically kind of said the knights, like she says, the Vikings call us this, the samurai call us this, the knights, you think you are something you can fight. And it's like,
Back Warriors. What an awesome trailer
Who's this?
that was.
Who are these
Hotun
people?
Looks incredible. I can't wait to get into all of it. Join with me today, as always. We've got Alex, Raph, Ian. How y'all doing?
hey, Raph,
Amazing.
how you doing, Ian?
Yeah.
Alex. Wait, did Raph get a haircut?
Yeah.
I think Raph got a
Yeah,
haircut
it's
from last
scary,
time.
Not gonna lie, but we'll get through it. Yeah, we'll get through it.
Will we?
I would
Let's
hope
hope.
I
so.
promise.
Let's hope.
Promise. Awesome. So before we get into everything, let's take a look at our seasonal roadmap first. So we got title update 1. Let's take a look at title update 2. We've got Hotun's Peace, the free event pass, starting January 23rd. Of course, our new hero, Hotun,
All right.
available tomorrow. We've got some Hero
Hotun's
Fest,
Peace event
the
pass,
Orochi
new
Pirate
Hotun
and
Hero,
Griffin,
Hero
and
Fest
some
coming in
throwback
February and
events.
March,
Eclipse
Orochi
starting
Pirate and
February
Griffin.
20th.
Okay.
Awesome. So first, why don't we do a quick recap of TU1, Ian? Just to help.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
All right, guys.
as people might remember from TU1, General Zhe invited Astria over for the ceremonial gifting of the Starfall Sword, symbol of unity. He wanted to join forces with Horkos. But big surprise. You might not have seen this coming. I know no one saw this coming, but it turns out Zhe was kind of a snake.
What?
You know? Right? That was cool. That was,
I like
yeah.
that.
So yeah, it was the serpent sword. Joe was dressed up as a snake, and it turns out. So yeah, he did not have the best intentions at heart. It turns out he actually had made a previous alliance with the Hotuns, and so now, he lured Astria in, but the Hotuns had promised him something. He promised them something in return. So now he's opened the doors to Heathmore, the Hotuns. So the Hotuns have come in, took Astria by surprise. Big blow to Horkos.
Yes!
It's
Big blow to
devastating.
Horkos.
The army has been somewhat decimated.
Yeah.
And what happened to Astria? I don't know. We might talk about it later.
What happened to
shall see,
Astria?
yeah.
Oh, what did happen to
It
her?
was Starfall Sword, and Astria means star. Maybe
Interesting.
seen it coming. Anyway,
I see it. I see it now.
yes.
Awesome. Raph, do you want to tell us more about who the Hotuns actually are?
Yes,
The
absolutely. So,
All right,
Hotuns are, of course, our new Mongol hero, Mongol-inspired. They are so Hotun means it's a Mongolian word. It's the feminine form of Han, maybe a better, or more used or more known. It means ruler or leader. We are using the Mongolian pronunciation, so a H, aspired H, rather than the K that would be used in Turkic languages, so neighboring language family. And these Hotuns are, of course, inspired by the Mongols, and especially the Mongolian Empire of the Mongol Empire of the 13th century. So at that point,
13th.
their leader, Genghis Khan, and his family, in which a woman had a prominent position, they invaded and conquered an empire that stretched from Korea to Turkey and from Finland to Vietnam, modern countries. So yeah, it was a pretty big empire.
Yeah.
Very big empire.
And
one
it
of the
is our
biggest.
inspiration because you'll have both in the narrative, but also you'll see a lot of it in other elements of our assets. So these Hotuns, just like their historical counterparts in our lore, these Hotuns are invading, they are leading an invading horde from the steppes. They have long lived in the harsh environment of the steppes, and
love the
this
coloring.
harsh environment has sharpened them into brutal, deadly, nimble assassins. They are quite good at what they do, but for a long time, even though the other factions of Heathmore knew that there were some Mongols, some Hotun somewhere in the steppe to the east, they did not really care about them. They were considered inconsequential barbarians because they were divided. They would raid from time to time because steppes, not a lot of resources, so they would have to raid. But yeah, it was in woolen lands, no one really cared. But recently this has changed because they have become unified by the singular and a bit twisted vision of their main leader, the Hotun of Hotuns, the Queen of Queen or Ruler of Rulers, Gul'jin.
Ah, interesting. Okay, so thank you for explaining. That's contextualizing the trailer a lot more. Do you want to talk more about like who Gul'jin actually is?
Actually, I can dive into that.
Yeah.
All right, tell us about Gul'jin.
Quick lesson. Gul'jin in Mongolian mythology was a demon who led a horde, an army in order to destroy and eventually rebuild. So we're kind of using that as a springboard for our vision of the Hotuns. Gul'jin, when she was young, as Raf said, she lived on the steppes, and eventually, let's say Blackstone-backed Mongols attacked her village. So she's felt the influence of the faction war. Her and her family, her tribe, or her village actually, were collateral damage essentially in a faction war. So she's seen, all the bad that it does. She's seen the senseless fighting from knights and Vikings and all that, and she's like, this needs to stop.
Yeah.
So eventually she grew into power. She learned how to fight. As Raf said, she eventually unified all the tribes, and now she has this army. And what she wants is to break this cycle, to break the wheel. Bring out all of it to an end, and usher something new. So, in her mind, she's bringing this new peace to Heathmore, but it's a twisted version of peace,
of course.
right? She has her own, not saying she has her own agenda, but she wants peace, but it comes at a price.
Yeah, I mean, this is a very complex individual. This is
Yeah,
someone
she
I've seen a
is
lot.
Okay, I'll talk about her lore. I'm going to wait until they're done. I've got a lot to say here. I've got a lot to say. I'm just quietly listening. I've got a lot to say about this.
Well, the first set that we have as well really is her iconic set. This is what Gul'jin is. She has this mask that is setting her up as a bit of a match for Astria, who also has this iconic helmet. Yeah. And the mask in this case is trying to exemplify this sort of reserved threat. She doesn't need to raise her voice in order to inspire fear. Yeah. She is inevitable. She brings this dread with her.
Yeah, she looks scary.
Yes.
Yeah.
She does. She
and then
honestly
some
does.
of her other sets and variations are more about the archetype as a whole. So we see different aspects of Mongolian culture in those ones. So we have some ceremonial variations. We have some that are inspired by wrestling, which is a large part
Thank you, Moon
of
King Luna.
the culture.
Yeah, really interesting part, at least. And one of our inspiration is actually a warrior princess and wrestler princess of the 13th century that is mentioned by Iranian and Chinese sources, and even Marco Polo, an Italian traveler and merchant, who mentioned this princess called Hotun, and she is one of our inspirations for this. I'm quite happy that you mentioned fear as her weapon, because the Hotuns, they have two sabers, Turco-Mongol sabers that they use, and of course it has served their role, cutting down any enemy that
These
is
look very
presented
nice.
before them.
They look
But
a little
their real
thin, but
weapon,
they look
Their
nice.
weapon of choice is actually fear. They are coming from the steppes, and I mentioned that this is a unforgiving environment. So there aren't that many Hotuns actually, and they are tribe leaders, so they have people behind them. But yeah, there aren't enough of them to conquer the world.
I love some
and
of these
bring
designs,
peace to
especially
it,
like that green one
whether you
passing
want
by.
it
That
or
looks
not.
so good.
So they cannot actually go from city to city or clan to clan or anything like that and destroy everything.
Right.
They have to make people submit. They have to use fear and the display of fear so that you will submit rather than fight. And this is reminiscent of actually the 13th century strategy of Genghis Khan and the Mongols. When you read sources and accounts from that time, there will be, building towers of skulls and having feasts on top of hills made of, they would like bury alive some of their enemies and all that. But all of this was actually planned. There was a purpose to it. The Mongols would do these things and make sure that the next 50 cities know that this city has been razed to the ground, so that the next 50 cities would submit. And this is how they conquered.
I'm very mad at you, Raph. I'm the one who does the heroes in history, man. Stop stealing my thunder here. You're ruining it.
Also, to mention one last thing on Guljin, our titular hero. When we started the process of thinking, conceptualizing this hero, we had a picture. It's coming from another source called The Secret History of the Mongols. There is a custom being described that at some point Genghis Khan wanted to punish a traitorous tribe. And so he, after victory, he had all of the remaining members of the tribe lined up against carts. And a sword was passed at the axle of the carts, and everybody who was tall enough died, and the small ones would survive. We imagine that Guljin is, well, her parents were tall and she was short, so she survived, alone, wandering on the steppe, the unforgiving steppe, maybe with the blood of her parents on her.
Wow.
What does that do to someone? Yeah. Well, we imagine that maybe this is why she so wants to break this. She's bringing a new answer to the conundrum of For Honor, which is how do you survive in a world that doesn't have enough resources so that everybody can survive? Yeah. You try to share, like Chimera would. Do you try to have the strongest survive? Or do you try to make sure that everybody submit, that we have peace now and no one else suffer the same thing that she suffers, whether you want it or not, and no matter the cost and no matter the violence and the people that I will actually have to kill so that I bring this? Yeah, it's a simple story, but we all hope that it's an effective and that you will.
I have so much to say.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that anecdote alone, I think, really, really contextualizes the hero, and even the trailer itself. Like seeing the brutality that she's displaying, it's like it's coming from somewhere. It's not just like I don't know, blank. It's kind of like this.
I've got a lot to say. Hold on, just wait, guys. Let them finish.
It's also why she says, the Vikings call us the Arnar. The Japanese, the samurai speak of Ankoku. They have these. They have the wind behind them. There's rumors about them. Their fear spreads before they get there, and that's how they gain so much influence rapidly. Yeah, eventually.
I really like the using the fear as a weapon. I just as a sidebar, we did see all the weapons. They looked incredible. They looked really, really nice. I'm sure everyone loved them. But thank you for breaking that.
Fear?
I did feel scared a little bit. Amazing. Thank you. Why don't we move on to look at the in-game realization? Yeah. So we've got the menu.
Wow.
That's what happened to Astria.
Astria, you dog.
Got our face-off. Looking super cool. I love the red fog, permeating throughout the environment. So nice.
Yeah.
Backdrop there.
As you can see, the event team took the same map, but changed pretty much everything in it to bring what has happened now that this cloud that was coming in.
Yeah.
What was hiding in the cloud?
Exactly.
Or the fog or whatever. And so, and now that they're here, what has happened?
Exactly. It's the aftermath.
Yeah.
Amazing. Hotun looks incredible. I can't wait for everyone to try her out.
Oh, look at her!
For purchase tomorrow for $7.99. The hero will also be available for purchase through Steal 2 weeks from now for $15K. Moving on, we've also got a free event pass coming, and will be available to play from January 23rd to February 13th. So why don't we check out some of the rewards?
Yes, a lot of the event pass this time is inspired by horses, which
I like horses.
Most people probably know are an important part of steppe culture, and also they're very, very pretty.
They are pretty.
These are nice. Yeah, I like these.
They're all threaded throughout a lot of the items in this event pass.
Yeah. Look amazing. We got the mood effect here, Eternal Wanderer. We also take a sneak peek at some of the weapons, maybe. Can we see that? Oh yeah, here we go.
Ooh.
These look super cool. I love
These
the
are very
details.
nice. I mean, they're reskins, but I like the
These
patterns. I
are,
like the patterns on them.
Mongol-inspired patterns that we've expanded on different weapons and tried to apply to different cultures too.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank all of you for coming on and
Okay,
giving us all the
we're coming to a
breakdown
break,
of,
and then I will
everything
talk.
from
I will
title
tell you guys
updates.
my thoughts. I have a lot to say, and I'll be quick.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
But for you watching, stick around. We've got a deep dive for the Hotun's gameplay coming up next. But before that, we're going to be showing you all the lootable weapons for this event pass. So check it out.
Okay, I'm gonna let them scroll through these event weapons because they're all just reskins, and y'all can decide whether you like or dislike them. It's y'all's call, but I want to talk about this. Everything about what we just heard was top tier. The lore behind Gul'jin and the Hotuns is so well done. It reminds me of Apollyon. She really reminds me of Apollyon. I could make a whole video comparing Gul'jin to Apollyon because their backgrounds are incredibly similar. Astria was interesting, but I find Gul'jin so incredibly unique. Like, Astria was, one of the problems I always had with Astria was I felt like she was just following in Apollyon's footsteps. What Gul'jin did is she basically reacted to Apollyon and is kind of turning into Apollyon in her own twisted way. I could do a whole compare and contrast with these two heroes. It is so unique. I love the tie-in to Genghis Khan. I love the way that they did that. I love the reference to Hotun, because Hotun was a real Mongolian warrior lady who was famous for wrestling and defeating men. She's talked about by Marco Polo and Arabian sources, Turkish sources, Mongolian sources. Like, she is known. Like, we have these good connections. I love the fact that the Hotun talk about how, you know, the Vikings call us this, the samurai call us this, but you knights, you never thought anything of us. You thought we were something you could conquer. Well, guess what? We're here, and you weren't ready for it. Oh, I love the way that they introduced that. I don't know how she fights yet, so I can't speak to that, but just the way that they've approached her lore-wise, the way they've approached Gul'jin lore-wise, story-wise, and inspiration-wise is fantastic. Raph pretty much did the Heroes in History for me, breaking down Mongolian history and how she connects to it. I think that was incredibly well done. She's basically a Mongolian, like a Mongolian. I like the way you say that. That's pretty good. A Mongopolian. That sounds like an ice cream flavor. I'll have the Mongopolian. Gosh, her look is so good. Her lore is so good. The background, like, my goodness. And I love the way they said that with her, it's about fear. It's about inspiring fear. From her design to the way she fights, to the way she conquers, it's all about inspiring fear. You know, and what they said was true. There were cases where Genghis Khan would invade and destroy a city and destroy it so completely and irrevocably that every other city who heard about it would go, you know what, guys, let's not piss off Genghis Khan. There was an old saying, you know, to stand up to the Khan and be destroyed. If you stand up to the Khan, you will lay down for eternity. You will never be able to defeat the Han because you see what he does to all these other tribes. Because the Han's goal was not death, it was conquest, and that's exactly what we're seeing from the Hotun here. And it is true. The word Hotun is the female equivalent of Han, so these are Mongolian queens. And one thing that he said was very true. He pointed out that in Mongolian society, in steppe culture, the Mongolians had women in high regard. In fact, it's kind of interesting because the men were always away hunting or riding or going to war and conquering. Women in the tribe had much higher prominent respect. It's kind of this idea of men maybe the ones who usually go out and do shit, but at home the women are in charge because they are the ones running the homestead and running everything back at home. Women had prominence in their culture, and there are cases of women in Mongolian society going out and fighting alongside the men. Usually in cases of, there's even a case of one of Genghis's relatives, I believe. She actually was in command of a whole Mongolian armed force. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I'll need to do more research. And I will be doing plenty of research for the Heroes in History. Oh man, there's so much good about this. I'm just from the concept alone and from what we've seen, I'm in love with this hero. She is so top tier. She reminds me of Apollyon. She really does. She gives me heavy Apollyon vibes. Because like they said, it's a reserved fear. This is a reserved terror. She doesn't need to scream to be heard. She can talk for... And that's the difference between her and Apollyon. Astria, it's almost like she's trying too hard. But like Apollyon, you talk gently that everyone listens. And that's what I see with the Hotun. That's what I see with the Hotun. I'm in love with this. This is so good. This is so great. They cooked with this. They cooked with this. But now we get to take a look at the artistic analysis.
Welcome back, Warriors. We are now here to do a deep dive with Alex and Kiera. How are you both doing?
I'm doing great.
Alex, still doing
you.
good?
Good.
I just saw you. So hopefully you're still doing good. Nothing bad happened. Awesome. So, why don't we just jump right into it? So, Kiera, you're our texture artist. Why don't you explain what a texture artist actually does?
Sure, yeah. So, texture artist is the person who puts the material and textures on the model. So really what I'm doing is applying cloth, skin texture, oil, dirt, dust. That's my job. But really what I do every day is tell the character's story through what they're wearing.
Okay.
So especially for Hotun, she's someone that has an incredible story, as Raphael told us earlier. And I really wanted to show that through her materials. For example, the leather, right? She has an armor that's scratched and used and battle worn, and like you can tell that she's fought, but she takes care of it. She is meticulous with it. You can see that in the glove right there. There's a scratch, but you know it's not too dirty. It's well taken care of. The metal is polished. Same thing with her helmet. There's a huge gash in it, but it's polished. It's taken care of. Though there's still dirt, it's still used. Yeah, and she's very she takes care of it. Shows her personality, her meticulousness, a little bit of how serious she is, and it's one of the characters too, which is great and different. That doesn't have too much dirt, because you know, for Honor, we love our dirty boys, girls. We love the dirt, but
Hey, Samurai
this one's
Phelps,
a little
how you doing?
cleaner. In the boots, we can see that like they're used, right? The leather is used, but it's cleaner. It's taken care of. It really shows who she is and how her personality, goes
Shows through her.
exactly.
Armor,
It's lived in.
Yeah, just a bit of daily wear and tear.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just your daily wear and tear, some slashes.
That's neat. I would not have noticed that, but that's a good point. Quite often, what a character wears and how they wear it can tell a lot about
we
them.
had Sav on last time to talk about the stages of creation. So at what point does like the texture artist come into play?
So I'm a little bit everywhere. We start off with the concept art, and then Sav gets it. So
Oh, look
Honor
at that!
start doing the rolling, and then I get the character and I apply the textures.
Jin
But
Sakai would have had
afterwards,
trouble
too,
fighting something like
when
that.
there's rigging, when
Like, oh,
we
shit, it's a
apply
boss battle.
The materials. So
Actually,
that the
she
players
looks
can
like
change the colors.
she looks like
I'm also
she's
there
a
to
Dark Souls
make sure
character.
that things look good, so that the colors are nice. The application of the right tones and stuff. So I'm a little bit in the pre-production, a little bit in the middle, a little bit in the post. So
Everywhere.
yeah, I got my fingers everywhere.
Nice. So what was it like actually working on the Hotun? Like, were there specific, inspirations or references you used while designing like the textures for this character?
Yeah, so as we can see, she's a lot of leather, and a lot
She
of the
releases
references I had to
tomorrow,
get
Yamate.
was different types of leather, so that we can see the contrast between her, like her arms, the skirt, the boots, the chaps she has. So I got references like yak leather, cow leather, like where she comes from, what kind of animals can be used, and you can see it in the felt of the material. So when her gloves are worn, there's more of a orange tint or beige tint compared to her belt, where it's more of a desaturated look, right? So I had to go figure out all these animals where, you don't usually do that in your everyday life. Look up yak skin. But yeah, and the different types of
I'd love to see her internet search
that's,
history.
that
Yak
was a big challenge,
skin.
too, is to keep everything interesting while
There's some Rule
having
34 art that
pretty
shouldn't
much the
exist.
same material.
Really cool. And I just love like how detailed like everything about
Max
her
Pal-
armor is.
Jen
Like, you
Sakai
can
says, "You can have the
clearly
whole
see
fucking
like
run."
everything like that goes into it. It's super nice. Yeah. Did you have any like interesting like techniques or ways that you kind of like made these textures for this character, or was it primarily like revolving around like the like as you said, looking up different
No,
types of
Astrid,
leather,
anything
like
but wrestling
bleach-based
and
stuff
oil
like
without
that?
armor against Mongol
So
lady.
it
Oh
goes back a
no!
bit to storytelling, right?
I was waiting here for this one. Now
When
she can come
I
pick me up.
apply these materials, I start off by this is a new piece of armor. Never worn it, first time ever. Then I look at how her arms are. So her shoulders, do they scuff against the chest plate? So scuff marks there. How she
Honestly, her
fights
design,
is
design, I think, is my
she's moving
favorite
her arm like
so
this,
far.
I'm gonna add more
Of
scuff
what
marks.
we've seen, it is my
The
favorite.
straps, more wear and tear. So I apply layer on layer of wear and tear, and then
Did we
I'm like,
reach the
okay,
100?
well, today she had a really dirty
Oh, really?
day, so put a bunch of dirt and then
Well, we're
clean it off,
298 right now.
and then add a bunch of dirt and then clean it
Yeah.
off. So it's a lot of layering to make it lived in.
Yeah, it feels like it's like coming to life essentially because you're creating it as if it was like as it was being used, it's like actually being used. So it's like really interesting. Even like with what you're mentioning about like the moving the arms and you put more scuff, I guess, like under it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Alex, did you want to take a closer look at some of the armor sets?
Yeah.
Armor
so we can
sets.
take a look at those
wanna see 'em.
and look a little bit at their customization as well. So there's a lot of customization that you can do. The piping on here, the threading that we have.
Oh, I'm
all
gonna have
throughout
fun.
it, a lot of that you can add a lot of color to. You can also add a whole bunch of color through outfits that you'll apply. Got the ornamentation and the studs and the yak fur around her shoulders. Lots and lots of colors and lots of different masks as well.
Yeah. Really, really cool. And again, I think I love all this because you could see like the stitching is like all changing colors. It's like it's so nice.
Wow.
Like super detailed.
Holy
the fashion with this would be-
crap.
people are gonna
That's some
love
great
this.
Well, it was something
customization.
that we were looking at too with how the Mongols would actually assemble their armor. A lot of it was through different straps, and so we're trying to incorporate that a little bit.
It looks incredible. I love this one.
Yes.
All good.
Yes, and I like the leg guards on this one as well, which also you can
Super
see
nice.
are attached through straps.
Yeah. These look just incredible.
Yes.
That is nuts.
This,
Wow. That's the statue
I
of
like the color
Mongolia.
of this one, like again, I think all of them generally just look scary, which is like kind of the intention.
That's the
behind
point.
it.
They got to look terrifying.
But they look incredible. They look super nice.
There we
Yeah,
go.
here's
You
a
can see
screenshot of all of
some
them.
of the things that you can create.
Yeah, the fashion with it is going to look. I can't wait to see what people cook. Honestly, it's going to be great. We also have the battle outfit from the event pass had some pretty unique color customization that we could take a quick look here.
Yes, you can see how that applies onto her
Yeah.
armor.
Super cool. Do a
That
little
is
spin.
cool. That is really
Nice.
I love watching her run and seeing the leather bounce.
Yeah.
cool. All right.
Awesome.
That's sick.
Thank you both for coming on and explaining everything.
Oh, that looks so
Special shout-outs
good.
to anyone.
In
Thank
terms
yous.
of drip,
Yeah, sure.
okay, so
First of all,
we're
thanks
looking
for
at this
having
in
me,
terms
and,
of drip,
thank you
lore,
to all
and
the character
gameplay.
team, every single one of you.
She's
riggers,
taking A's in the
modelers,
in
animators,
in
everybody.
two of
You guys
those.
are amazing, and we couldn't do this amazing character without any of you. So
Yeah. Amazing. Well, thank you both for coming on and breaking all of it down. Hotun looks amazing. I can't wait to actually get in and play. It's going to be awesome. But yeah, stick around for you watching. We've got the gameplay next, doing a deep dive with Mr. JC and Mike and Nolan. So see you soon.
See you soon. All right, now we get to look more at the drip. So this is the default, I'm guessing, the Ghoul Gene. Looks like we have an alternate set, so we got a singular set and then an alternate set. Okay. Does she have a freaking pheasant on her head? I love the weeping mask. The weeping mask looks really good. Okay, I'll be honest. The mask on that looks terrifying. The hat, not so much. The hat looks a little silly. But the mask looks solid. Kind of the same thing. The mask looks solid. The hat, not so much. That hat looks a little funny. Now she just looks like a pirate. Shiver me Timberlands. Okay, that one looks tight. That one looks really good. I like that one. That looks so solid. Okay, all right. So 6 different outfits so far with alterations. And I'm sure we'll get more in the future. Nice. All right, time for the gameplay. So we have looked at her in terms of lore and artistic analysis, and she took A's in both of those. She is an S tier in both categories. But now the real determining factor, how will she play? I want to hear how she plays. Just wait now. How does it look outside, bro? Is it still snowy? Beautiful, isn't it?
Welcome back, Warriors! All right, we are here to talk about gameplay for the new Hotun hero.
All
and
right.
who better to talk about it than these two fine people
$10
joining me on the
from
couch
Margaret
today.
Toltzman. Maybe
It's
they're
your Lord and Savior
maybe these
JC
are the
is
marauders
back.
from the
Hello,
Aztec
welcome
season.
back.
Mongols
Hello,
did have a
hello.
navy
I haven't
once
been
upon a
here
time.
before. I always make that joke. And
Maybe. I
it's
doubt
still
it, though. I
funny.
doubt it.
Yeah,
Is
I
it?
guess.
Is it?
I'm happy. If it's funny to you, my
Just
job
please
is done.
keep doing it. Yeah.
All right, okay, cool.
We should start laughing then next time, just to,
Yeah.
just to prove it, just to prove it
Man,
for everybody.
Yeah, that would
Called
be
me,
important,
you
yeah.
called me out,
That
and
beard
here I am
is
having to deal with
incredible.
it live on stream right
Round
now.
of applause
but,
for Michael's beard.
Well,
That
speaking
is-
of that, call-outs, Mike, welcome back.
Thank you.
Good to have you back on the couch with us as well.
Happy to be here. Yeah, it's been a while. It's been a long time.
Has it been
It has been. It has been since Sohei.
since
Yeah.
Sohei?
It's
Been a while.
It has been.
But I bring the goods.
You do bring
With
the-
JC, of course.
Definitely, yeah.
Well, we got a lot of good stuff to show today. All right. We're just vibing today. I love it.
We're
It's
vibing.
good. All right, awesome. Well, without further ado, then, let's dive into this. What
Yeah,
can you
right.
tell us about Hotun?
Yes. So, Mike, if you will.
Yeah. So this is Hotun. Of course, you've seen her in the previous segments. She looks fabulous. Good job to everybody there. But let's dive into gameplay. I'm gonna get straight into moves. So let's start with moves from neutral openers. So we'll start with of course the light attack. She has a light attack from all directions. Very nice.
Okay.
She has heavy attacks.
I can just
Up
already see
all
someone like
directions.
Slanders going like, oh, she
As
has a
you
light
would
attack,
expect.
like every hero.
As
She's
as
just like
is
every hero,
tradition.
just
As is
reusing
tradition.
animations.
As is tradition as well.
Reusing
She has a
reusing
zone
reusing
attack.
toolkits with heavies and lights.
Yeah, I'll do it on my side. So that people can see it.
There you go.
better,
Yeah,
maybe.
go for it.
Yeah, it looks
I
pretty
love
cool.
the heavy animation.
And now let's look at the dodge attacks. We'll look at them earlier than we usually do. So she has side dodge attacks, side light dodge attacks. These are enhanced.
Nice.
So you
Enhanced
can
lights
change.
on dodge
We'll talk
attack,
about it
okay.
in a second. And she has a forward heavy dodge attack. That's going to be important for later. as
Important to know that like the side dodges are on lights and the front is on heavy. There's a very good reason for this. I think we're gonna get into it a little.
We're going to get
It's
into
gonna
it
be awesome.
in a little second.
I like how you're setting them up.
Yeah, yeah,
Setting
yeah.
them up. All right. The anticipation. Just wait.
I love the
Very
run.
final
Look
one
at
I'll say
that.
here, just before we get into all the good stuff, is the sprint attack. This is on light attack.
Oh, it looks so
Yeah.
good.
Beautiful. JC, do you want to do that on me as
Yes.
well?
That's sick.
Fantastic.
Looks amazing, yeah.
Looks amazing. Feels really badass.
And so now, before you go a little bit into the basic chains and all that, we're right. So we have, as we've been doing for a little while, it's a 2-hit chain hero, but with a lot of like little fun things.
Yeah.
We'll go a little bit more into detail as to why we picked some of these choices, but just like it's gonna be super interesting. So Mike,
Let's go.
let's go.
So we'll start again from the light attacks. So like JC mentioned, 2 hits chains. Light attacks can chain to every direction, of course.
I
These
love
are
her
not
guard
enhanced, they
stance.
get
That is
blocked
really
by
sick.
JC.
Block.
Well,
Go.
here. I move to heavy attacks. Same thing. Heavy attack into heavy attack.
Pretty
all
simple, right?
directions. Pretty simple.
So by now you're like, oh, what is this hero, right? Like there's 2 swords. I don't know what's going on. You know.
What are you doing
pretty
to
cool.
us here?
So one of the main pillars that we've been working on, we've been wanting to do with this hero, and it's something that I think the community has been wanting for a long time. Soft feints, right?
Soft feints.
So
Soft feints.
we haven't done like a really soft feint centric hero in a long time. but it also can't feel like our other like heroes that have a lot of soft feints, like Aramusha, for example, right? You would think, and I saw in chat and a lot of people like even from the videos that we released this week, go, oh, this is just gonna be Aramusha 2.0 potentially or whatever. It is not. And so, Mike, please go into what makes her unique.
What makes her unique here? So, soft feints, maybe just a very quick explanation of soft feints for the audience. Soft feints is not throwing an attack and cancelling it like I did there, which is kind of the usual thing that you do with.
Yeah, that's a hard feint.
That is a hard feint. When we talk about soft feint, it's throwing an attack, but throwing a different attack during the startup.
Yeah.
To essentially transition to that second attack.
Okay.
So
she
what
can
JC is
soft
doing
feint?
here, maybe that looks a bit clear. Might go from top to side there. JC throws a heavy attack and then soft feints into a light attack from the side.
Yeah, from a different stance.
From a different stance. Very important. It's not in the same direction.
Nope.
It's in a different direction.
Yeah.
So you can do that with heavy attacks into light attacks. But you can also do that with heavy attacks into heavy attacks.
Oh, wow. Which is something new, right? We very rarely, like Kinsey has some soft feints into heavies, but this is the first time that we have soft feint into light, soft feint into heavies, having like a lot of focus on this.
Nice.
But there's even more.
Okay.
There's even more.
All right.
So with soft feinting, there's a couple of things you can do. There's one part in the chain that I'll mention first, just before we jump into more soft feinting stuff here. Is I mentioned before we have a light, heavy, light, heavy chain.
Okay.
You also have a light chain with a bash in chain, but you need to soft feint your heavy attack. You can do this from neutral, but generally we've seen lots of players going into chain and throwing a bash. In this case, frightful kick. It's a kick, an unblockable bash. Coming from the soft feint.
Yeah,
nice.
And you can do this from neutrals as well. You can soft feint into this kick.
So the idea overall is that like anytime you soft feint with this hero and you go into either a light, a heavy, or that frightful kick, you always go to your finishers. So this means that I can do like technically heavy opener into heavy, soft feint into heavy, into heavy, soft feint into heavy, into soft feint into light, and do however you want. So you kind of have an infinite chain.
Like a pseudo.
As long as you use your soft feints constantly.
Nice.
So that's super interesting there because it adds like another dimension, right? It's not just a regular infinite chain, which is something, by the way, while we're developing the hero, we tried to give her at some point an infinite chain. And with all the soft feint options, it didn't really feel right. It was getting really complicated to figure out where am I at in my chain, what's going on. We tried a bunch of different things, 3-hit chains, all sorts of things. And we ended up focusing on this aspect because there's another part to her kit that we'll be seeing very shortly.
Okay, so this is awesome so far, but what else you got?
It's really interesting.
I love the soft feint characteristic.
Yes.
I just want to hijack the animation presentation for half a second.
Good
because
point,
it looks too good, and I want to give them a massive shout out. Look at those stance changes. When
look at that.
From left to right.
Oh, the twirl.
All the little flourishes, all the stuff.
The flourishing is beautiful. I
I'm
love the stance too. I love that her swords are behind her. And you might
crazy
think that's
props
weird.
there.
That's actually legit.
This
You
hero, the
can do that in
animations look amazing.
swordsmanship.
There's a lot of attention that's been paid also to the soft feints so that everything looks a lot more realistic. When we were designing the hero, working very closely with Vanessa's team to make sure that we had soft feints that looked believable. She has 2 weapons. We want to make sure that whenever you start an attack and you soft feint to something else, that it moves very, very, very seamlessly. So that's really important. It was really important for us.
Yeah.
And I think it's reflected really well in there. So it kind of fits with the whole soft feint team.
Yeah, exactly. So
What else is there that's kind of unique with this hero?
Now let's get to the first unique part. First, I mentioned that specifically. So this hero has soft feinting as kind of a dominant mechanic, but what makes her cool is you can soft feint into this move.
Yeah, I'm gonna go far away so you can show it like how far it goes.
Fear and
wow,
fear.
that's some distance on that
This
dash.
is essentially soft feinting into a dodge if you're thinking about input buttons, but this is a special kind of move.
Yes, it's a very, very special kind of move.
If you've been paying attention, you would have seen the guard indicator show guard in all directions.
Yes.
This is of course an assassin, which means that
Yes.
if you
Oh,
attack
she is an assassin.
at the right time during a dodge, she deflects.
Yes, so I'm gonna like throw a top heavy towards me, and I'll show it as a regular
Let me
deflect, right?
move a tiny bit back, top heavy.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So,
Whoa!
assassin, right? Important to note, I saw people when they were seeing the gameplay trailer screaming deflects in chat.
Yeah.
Yes, deflects. Yes, it's the first assassin, pure assassin that we've made in For Honor since Nusha, which is your
Since Best Girl Nusha?
right? So
Long time ago.
Best Girl
we've been
Hotun
wanting
now.
to do assassins. We wanted to get back into making assassins using deflects with the removal of reflex guard that we've done quite a while ago now. We've been getting more and more and more into like we can actually make assassins now. What kind of stuff we can do? So this is our first assassin for a long time.
Yeah.
Super excited, and she has the flex, and so we wanted to, on top of it, make her special. And so what's interesting with that move there that we see that like she runs towards her with Fear and Fury, the idea here is that it's not full block, it's full deflect. So similarly to what we've
Not full
seen
block, full
in
def-
the testing ground
Explain.
that we've done, like not that long
Explain.
ago. Deeper. She has full deflect frames for the entire duration of that move as she runs forward. Any attack that could be deflected, so unblockables don't really count or whatever, but any attack that could be deflected will be automatically deflected. So, Mike, if you want to try it out, like
Show me.
Do you want me to
Yeah,
try the
just
attack? Yeah,
do it right
here we
there.
go.
See, so I hit her
Yep.
inside of it, she did a deflect.
Nice.
That's already like that works for any side, anywhere. If there's people around,
She can deflect
hit
any
you
attack
while
from
you're
any
running,
direction.
You will deflect
Holy
them.
crap.
You can do whatever deflect punish.
As long as it's not
We'll get
unblockable,
to
of
that in a
course.
little bit. You can get like anything there. So it's really, really cool that to really have that deflect synergy. She's an assassin. We wanted to go all in on deflects. It's also a pretty interesting move. You can target swap it. Clearly, when we're 1v1, it's kind of, we're not going to show it. But it's interesting to go. You can hit somebody, you can soft feint, and then target swap, run towards somebody else, get into the
It's like the
mix of
easiest
fight and
deflect
really
character.
Running around.
Yeah.
Like, kind of crazy. So it's really
This is kind of
interesting.
crazy, guys. I'm in
The
love.
other part that's kind of cool with it is that
I'm
you
in
can
love.
soft feint into it, right? But you can also just chain into it after a light or a heavy.
You can chain
because
into
of
it?
This it kind of
Yes.
gives her a lot of freedom into when do I use this kind of extender move? What can I do with it? How can I use it offensively, defensively as well? It's kind of a the designer that was working on it. Noel, big shout out to Noel, by the way. Wanted to make something that was really attack as you defend and defend as you attack type of thing, but not in a conventional way that we typically have in Fortnite. It's not a superior block. It's not crushing counters or anything. It's I'm committing to a big forward dodge that has a lot of potency that makes people scared, and it also ties in with her lore, right? We were listening to Raphael earlier. And
I'm going to love this
a
hero.
lot of it is about like controlling people through fear. I don't know about you, but if I was on a battlefield and this crazy person with two massive swords started running towards me, I'd be a little bit scared.
Yeah.
Get out
Right?
the way.
She's
Yeah.
very confident in that run, so yeah.
All right. So then, Mike, you want to run us through
Let's,
what we can do? Because
what
it's
we
not
can
just
do,
a
yeah,
run, right?
of course.
If it was just a run, you'd be like, whatever. But what
that's
can we do
okay.
out of this?
What can you do out of the
this
run? Show me.
You can chain, right? So let's go. That's default run, Fear and Fury. Out of this Fear and Fury, you can do a light attack. There we
Okay.
go. Oh, let's. I'll do
Light
it from
attack.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So, hop. There we go.
Cool.
You can
For
do
10
it.
damage.
Slash.
Also-
I can do this from side as
Yeah.
well.
So another big aspect that we have here that Mike is going to show us is it's really interesting that we wanted to really push the stance-based aspect of this as well, right? It's not just
What
I run,
the-
I do something.
Yes.
It's I run, I pick a stance, I do an attack.
Yes.
Light. You also have zone attack that you can do as well.
Yep.
So
we'll
that
do,
is a
we'll-
pretty quick zone attack there.
Fly the zone, throw the zone attack out.
You can
Right?
do a zone out of it.
Attack, push
Okay.
People around, that's really good. But then, so already you have like a bunch of different options, but you can do the light from any different stance. The light also chains more into, you can go into back into Fear and Fury.
Nice.
You can kind of have like a lot of like running around there. What I would suggest is it's pretty strong, but it can actually be really countered. So we're not gonna go into crazy details here because I want to get people a bit of a chance to explore.
Sure.
But at the same time, we've carefully thought out the duration of these things, and I would say experiment with them a little bit. It might look like, I'm going to just do like, run light, run light, run light. That does not necessarily work as well as you would think it does. There's ways to counter it. We've put a lot of thought into how do you counter it, but how do you counter the counter as well. We have like a lot of thought put into it, but it's really
This is a high
question of
IQ.
what can you do with those different situations? If you land a heavy and you do Fear and Fury, you get different frame advantages that if you land a light and you go into Fear and Fury. So there's a lot of thought that was put towards this to really make it super efficient.
I see guard
Ultimately,
breaks
this
as her
gives you
biggest
lots of
enemy here.
options.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So many
The breadth of it is like the basis is we want to give players a lot of options.
Yeah.
To have a lot of player expression. How do you want to play her? What do you want to do? That's good. But then there's one button. I think I saw you do it.
No. You didn't see me.
How would
You
you
didn't
spoil
see me
that?
do it.
But there's one more button that you can do while you are running. Actually, there's two more, but we'll show. Like
Yeah.
you can also like just to show you can also like dodge out of it.
Yep.
So if you do,
We go that. Go in. You can dodge
you
cancel.
can dodge cancel.
can
out of it.
dodge
like,
cancel
if
it?
something happens and like if a bash is coming at you, you can like dodge out of it and you can do like a lot of interesting things. That's kind of weird.
Nice.
But then,
Let's go.
what do you do with that heavy button now?
What did I do with that heavy button? So that heavy button leads us to the second unique
Yes.
called Bloody Wrath. Very aptly named. It's an unblockable pinning move
Yeah.
that comes out
Okay,
of
unblockable pinning out of it.
And in any stance, right? So it's like left, right,
any
top.
stance.
Similarly, a little bit, if you've played Pirate, she has something a little bit similar, but we really pushed it to the extreme where she uses her sword to impale, and she can kind of use her gun or push back. But instead of just going, we have like this, whatever, there's a lot more options with her.
Once
right? So
more.
why don't you run us through them?
More options is always good. So let's go. We'll pin you. And I can follow up with the light attack.
Yeah.
Very quick
Super
light
quick.
attack.
Yeah, very, very fast. Kind of ties in with her feet that you'll see in a little bit.
Okay, from
But
that you can do a
sometimes
light.
you want to do a light if you're in a group fight, if you're in any kind of situation where like, I can't get stuck in that animation really quickly.
Yeah.
Throw out a light, you get out of it super quickly.
Cool. Fantastic. Next, you can pin and go into a zone attack.
Oh.
This is
Ooh.
an armored zone attack.
Yeah.
You cannot be interrupted with it. An uninterruptible stance.
Yeah.
This is also useful in team fights.
Yeah, exactly, right? So if you want to deal a bit more damage, people around you, whatever, works quite well. But then there's another one.
So you pin somebody, and now you want to finish them off with a heavy
Yes.
finisher follow-up off of that Bloody Wrath. And this does big damage.
Yeah, it does big damage, pins for quite a long time as well.
Yeah.
Looks amazing. Like, honestly, like our VFX team, our animation team, again, outdid themselves. Like, the big blood splatter, everything.
Yeah.
You feel like she's, getting there. And again, that's part of how we design these moves is from the fear aspect, right? The idea here is that she does this not because she's cruel, because she wants to be, like, violent or whatever, or she absolutely wants to kill that person, but it's also to scare people around her.
Yeah.
Because again, if you're in a fight and you see her doing this, like, what? I don't really want that to happen to me. So it plays into that fear aspect as well, which is super important for this show. And it also ties in with feats as we go along the further out. So I don't want to spoil too much there, but it's pretty interesting.
And I thought it was cool. You mentioned the VFX on it too. Did I see some blood splatter on the
You
screen?
saw blood splatter on the screen.
That is a nice touch.
Let me just soft feint correctly here. Up. Blood splatter on the screen. Nice.
Oh, I
signature
see it.
in
There's
the
blood
blood there
splatter
on
on
the
the
side. Very
screen.
nice.
That's so
So-
creative.
Quickly before the feats, though.
Yes.
Before the feats, we have a couple of other ways we can get into this move.
Yes,
Because
so-
we did talk about the deflect earlier.
Yeah, so that's another part of what's interesting with this hero is that Bloody Wrath as a move by itself, it's interesting. It's a pin. It does all the different things. That's pretty cool. But we wanted to go again, hardcore all in with this.
Yeah.
And to make it an integral part of her moveset. We didn't want to go, you have to do Fear and Fury to be able to do Bloody Wrath. It's pretty cool, but it's not really like the thing that we absolutely need to do. So it's also available in a lot of different situations.
Nice.
So for example, like you can
I'll throw it top heavy, and you can start with the first one there.
So on deflect, you get it.
Ah,
Like, so I mashed
nice.
it down, so you do it again so I can show like a different follow-up there. So every time you
Whoa.
deflect,
Okay, so she gets it on
either
deflect.
from a normal deflect on the side or off of Fear and Fury, you can always go into Bloody Wrath, which is pretty cool. You also get it off of what else?
Guard break.
A guard break, right?
Successful guard break on somebody puts you straight into that Bloody Wrath, and you have all the follow-up.
That's 25 damage
Kudos
off
here,
of a
'cause
guard
I'm
break
sure
hit. That
there's
is
people in
good.
chat going, oh, this is way too OP. Don't worry too much about it. Every single version of Bloody Wrath that we're seeing, so the one that is off of Fear and Fury, the one that's off Deflect, the one that's off of Guard Break, and there's two other ways to get into it, they all have different initial damage values so that we can balance them accordingly. So that, for example, the one off of Guard Break, if you do the Guard Break and you do the heavy follow-up, then what ends up happening is you deal like a little bit more, like typical damage for a Guard Break. But if you do it off of Fear and Fury, you deal more. If you deal it off of a parry or a deflect, you deal different amounts of damage. So that's really important to know here.
Okay.
That yes, there's a lot of different ways to go.
All right, I
into
see
it,
what they're saying.
But at the same time, the initial damage of the initial hit from Bloody Wrath is different depending on the situation.
Nice.
So we also have it off of parry, right?
Parry. So let me throw a top parry, top heavy for you there.
Right,
You can,
okay.
you can follow up on that.
Yeah. So here, there's something that's interesting here, right?
Yep.
So off of a heavy parry, it's not guaranteed. So we can do it again. I'll do it, and you can dodge it, right? So it's dodgeable.
Oh.
Off of a light parry, however it is, you can do a dodge attack to me, for example, for a side dodge.
Side dodge attack?
Yeah,
Once,
side
yeah.
dodge
Yeah,
attack.
here we go.
Right, so off a side dodge attack, it's fully guaranteed. So again, you get good stuff there. It kind of works. That works really well.
All right,
Again,
that's
really
fair.
well off of a parry. Off of a heavy parry, you can still get a light. That's good. The other thing that's interesting is that, just to mention, off of guard break, if you don't want it to have the entire time of it, because this is a pin, it takes a while. It's interesting.
Yeah.
You can still zone attack and get the full 24 damage that you would normally get, right?
nice.
So we still thought it out to make sure that we have the whole setup here that works, that makes sense with damage values, what we have with other heroes and stuff. So that's kind of interesting here. So that's about it for her moveset in general, right? We're going to go towards feet.
I'll set that up, so I'll leave it
All
to
right.
you to,
Yes.
Time for feet.
fill the void a bit.
Yeah. So thank you, Mike. So
So
a lot of the stuff we've been talking about, right? So we've
Yeah.
been working on this hero for quite a while now. We know the hero quite well. We faced a lot of challenges building this hero, right? We have a soft feint hero. It's not the easiest thing to build all the time.
Nuts.
Sure. Want to make sure it's balanced. We also wanted to make a hero that was not particularly easy to play as, right? There's a lot of options. There's a lot of room for player expression, so it's super interesting.
Yeah.
We also tried a lot of different things. I won't go into too much details because I'm going to go nuts there. But we tried a lot of different aspects, and not everything always worked out. Because this is normal, and it's For Honor. And sometimes you go, I wish there was this, that. Doesn't mean we didn't try stuff, but also at the same time, it's like we need to make it fit within what's in For Honor, and it makes sense. So we ran into a small snag, so we can give this
Cool.
our amazing person here. Yeah. So that's pretty cool.
that is cool.
It is cool.
So
I like cool.
So where do you see like the inspirations we have for her? Obviously, first assassin in a long time.
Yeah.
And obviously we see these kind of like cool like pinning maneuvers that she has. So where do you maybe see her in regards to like the team comps and other areas like that?
Yeah. So in terms of team composition, because she has like pins, she has actually a really good access to that pinning move, right? To Bloody Wrath. What's interesting here, thank you. What's interesting here is that like she pairs really well as a gank initiator. So heroes that have a lot of big damage from neutral. I'm talking like maybe Shigoki,
Yeah.
Kiri, that kind of stuff where you can actually like guarantee a lot of damage off of an ally pin. Those work really, really well. She's really good to set these things up. So she works really, really well with these heroes. She works well with like a lot of different team compositions. Again, big trajectories on her attack, so she hits a lot of people around her. She might be good at. She's gonna be pretty good at stalling as well, so you can get into good points and stall people to get into where you need to go. So she's a much more universal hero, but again, she's pretty tough to use effectively. So take your time when you're playing with her, get into what you need to get into, and really flesh out, understand the moveset. She's not the easiest hero to play, but there's a lot of really cool things that you're gonna get into that are amazing here.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, cool. So we can look at feats now, right?
All right, let's take a
go.
look.
Awesome. All right, so
All right.
Mike.
So we're looking at feats now. I want to give a caveat. Like we've messed with cooldowns, especially for one of
like
the feats.
usual.
That's
It's not just an instant thing, and we'll talk about that.
Even
in
then,
a
only the fourth feat as a cooldown, and we'll tell you what the actual cooldown is going to be.
Exactly.
Nice.
So let's start with feat 1. Feat 1 is a passive feat that
Okay.
you unlock. It's called Relentless. Now, we talked about soft feints a lot in this hero. You will be using soft feints a lot when you're playing Hotun. Soft feints cost stamina. However, once you unlock the Relentless feat, the first one, it has no cooldown. It's a passive feat. No more stamina cost for your soft feint.
Yeah. That's really interesting, right? Because we want her to rely on those soft feints quite a bit to open up opponents.
Her soft
Typically,
feints
when you
will
have
no
soft
longer
feints, you
cost
have a lot of
stamina on
stamina
first
costs
feet.
associated to them.
Yeah.
Oh,
So because we
wow.
want her to have like a bit of an easier time, and we'll encourage you to go.
Well, I
with
mean, that's kind of.
soft feints.
She kinda
And
needs
this
that.
feat essentially just goes, you pay the initial cost. So if you want to soft feint into a light, into a kick, also which is interesting because usually those bashes cost a little bit more stamina, right?
Right.
You always only pay the 12 cost up front for the heavy, but not the initial, not the extra cost.
Since
for
her whole
running.
gameplay is around soft feints, that
more
makes
soft feints.
sense.
Exactly.
All right.
Soft
I
feints.
like it.
Now, as usual, with all our new heroes, we want to make sure that the feats are synergizing with each other and the kit, right? Feat 2 is once again a passive feat called Brutal, and the way it works is when I land follow-up attack off of my Bloody Wrath, so off of the pin move, my damage is increased by 20% for 10 seconds.
Yeah.
What?
This is it's a passive feat. It doesn't have cooldown. It doesn't reset immediately, so you will kind of have to wait it out and reperform. That's a hard word to say, actually. Reperform the move to get that buff as well. So you see the
Wow,
glow on the
okay.
hands,
Okay.
You see the damage increase icon there in the health bar as well.
Yeah, so
She,
what's
she
interesting
has
here-
to commit to that.
She has to
all
commit to it, and then it doesn't last for super long. And like you said, you can't refresh it. This is part of what I was saying. Like, it triggers off of light, zone, or heavy follow-ups, right?
Exactly.
So sometimes you might want to go, oh, I just want the damage buff quickly. I'm going to do a quick one, go into light, works super well.
Yeah.
You still get it regardless, but the idea is that, like, you, again, to play into player choice, into what we need to do, super interesting, works quite well there, so that's really good.
Nice.
Also, it plays into, sorry, just to say, it plays into that fear aspect as well, right?
Right.
We're talking about fear again. The idea here is she lands that Bloody Wrath, does something, scares people around her. She feels like you're kind of worried, you go, oh, wait. And then she ends up being stronger to make you more afraid to play against her. That's a big part of what we're building with these identities, with the type of things, which is super interesting in my opinion.
Right.
Exactly.
Third
And
feat.
then moving on with fear, what goes with fear? It's intimidation.
Yeah.
And that is the name of feat 3. The way it works is whenever you kill an enemy, you will gain a, let's call it a fear aura.
Yeah.
An aura around you. It lasts for 10 seconds. It's stuck to you, so you can move around with it. And anybody inside, any enemy inside that will take 25% more damage. So it's like an
Whoa.
8-meter aura. I will have to kill you to demonstrate this.
Please kill me.
So, yeah. Oh, actually, let me.
I'll go side.
This is like our PlayStations, JC.
Yeah.
Just try not to die. Let me just help throw you in.
All right,
Where we
yeah.
can see. Okay.
So you see, yeah. So
See
there's
the
the big
VFX?
AoE around you.
Oh, wow.
There's that's going on there. Just be right.
At least it doesn't last long.
I will run towards you. Oh, showing off only JC abilities.
Yeah.
There we go.
I have a special god mode in this game that I can do whatever I
Oh,
want. So
that's
that's why I
what-
don't play live. It's
I see.
This is also the only way JC plays PlayStation.
Yeah, that's it, right? So, but that's the thing, right? So this feat again, it plays on the fear aspect, right? You kill somebody, everybody around you goes, oh,
Yeah.
and then you get lower. You increase the damage they take, right? So it's a defense debuff. Those two feats, so feat 2 and feat 3, work really well in tandem.
Yeah.
Essentially, you hit somebody, you get your damage buff, you kill somebody, you defense debuff everybody around you, and then she becomes like an insane killing machine. She does like 45% extra damage, essential on everybody around her for 10 seconds.
Okay.
Very, very, very strong, super interesting.
That is
Not super selfish, so the feat 3 is
unbelievable.
really not selfish at all. You
Yeah.
really help out your entire team.
Right.
So you land this, if she kills somebody in a group fight, everybody's happy.
Right.
She's one of the few heroes
Everybody's
that
happy.
Right.
you know, like when you play the game, you play any game, you wanna you wanna kill steal because you're like, I'm gonna kill steal.
Yeah.
Please don't do that with her.
Yeah.
Because then it'll actively
Yeah, don't
hurt
steal
you.
kill. Don't
It's
kill steal from
always
Hotun,
beneficial
people.
that she gets the final hit on somebody when that feat is unlocked. Every single time, let her do it.
Nice.
There you go. And then finally, feat 4, right? So we're trying something really, really, really different for a fourth feat.
This is another spicy one, fresh from the GE team. It's called Ultimate Punishment,
Yeah.
and JC kind of alluded to it before. There is one more way to get access to your Bloody Wrath, and that is unlocking feat 4, pressing that button,
And then
very quickly doing a lot of damage.
you do it straight from neutral. Again, it's something that's kind of interesting. It matches the stance you're in, which is the first time we're doing this.
Yeah.
So if you're in left, top, or right, it's going to do the Bloody Wrath in that move, in that stance. And it's parryable. It's 400 MS though, so like 400
very
MS
quick.
neutral.
That's pretty quick.
Good luck.
Pretty much unreactive.
Like I don't think anybody is able to do that on
Yeah.
reaction. No offense to like our amazing pro players. That is really, really stretching it.
Yeah.
What's also cool, Mike, is what's the cooldown on this?
The cooldown of this is 45 seconds, and that's unusual for...
It is
A
very neat,
45
right? So typically when
second
we do
cooldown
feat
on a
fours,
fourth
we do these
feat.
big bombastic feats.
Wow!
Fire flash.
Right.
You can think catapult, right? All sorts of things that we do, like Hitokiri's for fourth feat that like kind of instant kills you. So we typically do really crazy big feats on tier 4, but for this we're trying something different, and I want to get people's opinions. I want to see. I'm going to go on Reddit clearly because I
Sure, yeah.
love to go on Reddit.
We love it.
But I want to see what people think about this specifically. Do you like to have a tier 4 feat that has it's a big impact on the game regardless, but it's a less explosive feat on a much shorter cooldown that you can use really often?
Yeah.
It's something that we've seen players kind of ask for once in a while. So it's something that we're trying out with this hero. At the same time, it fits super well with her feat, with her kit, with everything. And then again, you want to gank somebody, you just do this 400 MS, unblockable from neutral, really, really, really like hard to react to. Can set up a lot of damage, can set up a lot of good stuff, and it's available really, really often.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
It's not like it's not the tier 4 you're gonna throw twice in a game, right? You can do it like really, really often.
There you go. Very cool. Very.
That's the kit. Those are the feats. They are all meant to synergize with each other, so we're looking really forward to seeing what crazy things people do, especially.
I am overwhelmed.
As
This
I
is
said
insane.
before, like I'm super hyped with this hero. Honestly, we can put our controllers down.
Holding this lock button.
But
for
yeah,
a while.
right.
We'll stop playing.
So I'm super excited. I think that she brings aspects and gameplay to 4R that we've never really had before, right?
Yeah.
That move where you run towards your opponent, you have your full deflect. We've never really done that before. We've had moves that run. We've had a Fira that has like your shield when she runs, but it's on a feat. You can't really do it super often. With her, it's built in her moveset.
Yeah.
We haven't done an assassin in a while, which is super cool, like I mentioned
On
earlier.
time, yeah.
We haven't done a hero that has access to this many soft feints on a consistent basis, right? You have it off of front dodge, you have it off of your opener heavies, off of your finisher heavies.
Not impossible to parry, just
so there's a
improbable.
lot of
Yeah, they said that
options there as well.
they said that the
So we
move
really
was
wanna have a
400
hero that has
milliseconds from the
that
fourth
skill
feet,
expression,
which
that
means
player
you could
expression.
parry it, but good
At the
luck,
same
you
time,
know.
She's hard to play.
Yeah.
We know she's hard to play. She's not like a pick up and do whatever. Soft feints are always a bit trickier to play against, but at the same time, it does feel fair. You can block them, you can do a lot of stuff. She doesn't have a front dodge bash. You're still gonna have to do front dodge heavy into kick. You get a bit more of a tell on it. You get a lot of stuff that can happen. You can bait opponents in a lot of different ways. Where you can play with frame advantage. There's so much that you can kind of learn and get to with this hero. I've seen. We have, like, you're going to see content creators post things soon on social media, I'm assuming. I've seen some of what they've been working on in terms of, like, punishes and stuff that were all, like, really intended, where there's a lot of creative ways that you can use her moveset to go into what you want to do. So I'm super psyched about this. It's a very, very different hero. Something that I know players have been asking for in terms of, like, gameplay mechanics.
Yes, Max, that is the recap on that, but you missed the part where it's a fourth feat, so it will take time to get to.
So really,
So
like, super
consider
excited.
that too.
Please play her. Give us your feedback again, but it's super awesome. And then, yeah, so, oh man, finally, big shout out to the whole team, right, Mike?
Massive shout out to the whole team. I'll start off with the GDs, of course, Noel and Sebastian. Great work on the hero, and everybody that, of course, supported us. You've already seen some of them. You know, the arts team, the animation department, VFX, audio, GPP support, because there were lots of things that we tried to put into this character that to make it work, and we got somewhere that is.
Am I gonna have fun
really
making a
fun to
legend
play.
video with her? Yeah.
I can't wait to get.
I'm
to
already
those
thinking
guys.
of something.
I'll be playing tomorrow.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For sure.
And really, like you said,
I'm trying to, but it's
shout
just
out to
ridiculous
everybody
between
you
fights.
mentioned. Definitely, like, the
Well,
art
then you're
team,
not trying.
animation team, VFX, everybody.
Like, I'm
we
trying,
had
but
that
I'm not.
Before with Alex and Kiara. So it's just.
Yes, I agree.
it's a
It would be
big
ridiculous if
team
it was a
effort,
first
right?
feat.
It's not always.
It'd be
simple. It
ridiculous
takes
if it was a
us
part of her
while to make
kit,
new heroes, to
but
get
it is also
them
a
to
fourth
progress,
feat. I've played matches where I haven't even
happy,
gotten access to
and
the fourth
it's
feat
super
because
cool.
the
I
enemy
wanna
team was
give,
playing
like,
so
special
well.
Thanks to Noel and Seb, who worked, like, were two game designers that were in charge of this hero tirelessly. Seb joined us a year ago. He was supposed to be on the Warriors End today. Unfortunately, something came up and he couldn't be here. But they worked tirelessly. Super awesome. Really good job for them. We're really, really happy. And we have this amazingly cool-looking hero.
Did they already do executions? No, I'm not sure if they're going to do them.
I can't wait because we have Vanessa's and a new face segments like coming up.
No spoilers.
But no spoilers. But really, like, everybody worked super hard. And again, like, big ups to everybody. It's amazing. And I hope our players are going to
They
like
might
it.
not be showing the executions, guys. We might have to
For
see
sure.
those separately.
So thank you so much, JC. Thank you, Mike, for being here, for going through this incredible move kit, feats, all this fun stuff with this new hero. Warriors, listen up. Tomorrow, she's out. You can play her yourselves, so we hope you join us on the battlefield then. But stick around because we're going to do a deep dive into some of the more animation components of this hero, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
All right. Excellent. So we're about to move into the animation aspects, but before we do, I do want to say this. Okay, guys. Seeing a lot of different responses in chat. Here's my thought. The feats, I think that they work very well and congruous with each other, but a couple things to keep in mind. That fourth feat, a lot of people are freaking out because it's 400 milliseconds, can do 40 damage, and respawn and recovers in 45 seconds. I personally don't think that's as big a deal because it is a fourth feat. It takes time to get that fourth feat, and a lot of things can happen in a match. But if it really is found to be broken, they can adjust it. They can adjust that cooldown or the damage numbers. They can adjust it, but consider that that it's a fourth feat. We also have Hitakiri, who has a one-shot kill fourth feat. We have Fire Flash, which is an almost certain one-shot kill fourth feat. We have Trebuchet, which is almost a one that does 70 damage and takes 1 second to drop. Like, we've gotten these OP fourth feats before. So I don't know what everyone's freaking out about right now. If it really is too OP, they'll adjust it. But the idea is, guys, let's slow down, and then saying I'm trying, but I can't. Well, you're not trying hard enough. There is no try. But yeah, I think that overall her abilities are phenomenal. She's an assassin hero, which we haven't seen in a while. She plays very well. I think that her design and overall fighting style is unique for what we were thinking. Like, what I think is neat is it's not like Sohei, where Sohei brought something almost completely brand new to the game in terms of how they fight. She still uses a lot of mechanics from other characters, like her dodge cancellations, her deflect capability, her pinning heavy. Like, these are things that we've seen other characters use, but the way she uses them is so unique. But it's not like you can just pick her up and master her in an afternoon. Like, you need to learn this hero. You need to, like, she's going to require a high IQ, you know? You got to think this one through. We have a Cricket Sohei who can nearly one-shot without feats. Yeah, exactly. Sohei, if he gets all of his souls, can one-shot most characters with his ability. Like, I don't think that this is any more crazy than that.
Welcome back, Warriors.
All right, here we
Super
go.
excited
Who we
to
got?
do a deep dive on the animation.
Yes.
Join with me today, Vanessa, and a new face, Nawel.
Nawel.
How are you both doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Very excited.
Super excited. Nawel, you've never been on. Do you want to introduce yourself first?
Yes, sir. So, first of all, thank you for having me on the coolest couch in town. My name is Nawel. I've been working on For Honor as a gameplay animator for almost 5 years now.
Wow.
So work on a lot of content and heroes, and here I am today for Hotun.
Super exciting. Let's just jump right into it. You know, this hero has some of the most brutal executions I think we've ever seen.
All right, we're gonna get to see the executions now.
Some awesome animations.
Yep.
Why don't you tell us about the process of what creating this hero was
There's
like?
a lot of animation.
Yeah.
But yes, she's as you saw in the beginning with Raffinyan, like her background for us we decided like she's gonna be brutal. She's gonna have brutal animation. You saw them in the gameplay segment. So yeah, she has a bad guy energy.
Yeah.
And that was the motto when we designed the animation. By the way, I brought the props from mocap. So let me ring them up.
These are cool.
Look at that. I touched both ends.
Wow.
These are massive.
Those are real size.
Life size?
Life size. I mean, yeah, the size of the weapon in the game. They're pretty big. They're her hero.
Yeah,
but,
this is cool.
Yeah.
Can I hold them?
Don't hit
I
one
won't,
part.
Don't break them.
You cannot impel
You bought them if you break them.
Super cool. I'll lay them down here.
So there you go. So we have the props here. And yeah, like GC was mentioning, soft feint.
Yeah.
It's a pretty huge deal for
sure.
this hero. And it was a pretty huge deal for us as well because we need to plan ahead when we have to do all those animation because you saw that she has 2 weapons.
Yeah, they are pretty. I agree. Both of them are very pretty.
This one,
a lot of options.
A lot of options.
What did you say so long?
Start typing them down, like right stance, right attack, soft feint, left stance. When you start like, oh yeah, it seems easy, but when you start like detailing all of that, it's getting confusing. So we're gonna show you something that we don't often show. This is a planning that we do when we go to mocap.
Super cool.
This might not be reflective of the gameplay, fight kit. I think it is, but sometimes we need to just plan ahead and make sure we have everything that we need. And yeah, to produce all the animation. So you can see here, it was pretty confusing because, again, like I was saying, you do an attack, and the rule that we decided was to, depending on the stance that you
Sorry
are.
about that. Had to step away,
this
folks.
Is your main weapon? Like
is
right
the hero
stance,
gender
your
locked?
main
Yes,
weapon will
she
be
is.
right. So first an opener like this, and the soft feint on the other end, and so on. I'm just trying to explain, and I feel like I'm gonna get confused because it was very confusing. So that's why we made that. And yeah, even for her, like even for Hotun, it was pretty confusing. For the you can, it's one of her hemo, by the way. You can see that the little blue and red sword as well represent the mocap, because for the actors, again, we need to do the animation, to record them, and that was very helpful.
So this acts kind of like, it's kind of like a loose script, I guess, that you follow when you're actually doing like the mocap.
Yeah, basically, because we need to make sure we have everything.
Yeah.
And even beyond sometime, because we don't know what GC and his team will do sometimes, so we have to plan ahead and try to, he's laughing in the back, and to plan ahead what can come up. So yeah, a lot of animation. But it was fun. I mean, she looks really amazing. Yeah.
It looks super cool, and it's really interesting to see like how it actually, like how you break it down into like a bunch of different moves. It's really interesting. It's awesome. Something we saw in the last segment was the rush move.
Okay.
That I almost ran into the camera with. Do you want to break that down a bit more for everyone?
For sure. So for this one, it was quite challenging on our side, because when we went at the mocap, we had instructions and some constraints to follow for this one. And when we received the raw data, we kind of feel it didn't fit with her. Because, as I mentioned, the constraint at the mocap was to have the weapon close to each other and near the upper body, because since she's an assassin, she can deflect, right?
Yeah.
So we needed up. And so we saw it on the raw data, and we wanted maybe to try something else. And what is interesting for us to show you that, no.
No, that one didn't work.
So, as I said, what I find interesting by showing you that is the fact that when we go at the mocap, our reality is at that moment isn't necessarily the same when we receive the data. So when that happens, we need to adapt ourselves. And so for this one, we tried many variations, and like Max showed up, we tried the shoulder bash on her because we like the feel of the wardens.
Yeah.
Very much. So we tried to transpose that onto her and to see if we're on a good track with this one or not. And even with this test, we weren't satisfied enough.
Didn't feel like it resonated with the
That didn't work. Yeah, that didn't work either.
Yeah.
It's all about feels. When you play an animation, we heard the guys say it when they were playing, it feels good. That's what we're looking for.
Yeah, and I get that same vibe
and, like,
from
the movement wasn't
Hotun.
responsive enough. So we had many other discussion with this with the team, and one day we came up with the image of a bull. So a bull, it's menacing, posing.
This is where I come in.
Yeah,
that's where you come in.
There you go. And also the horns of a bull can remind us the beautiful shape of her Turco-Mongol sabers. So we said, okay, maybe it sounds a little crazy, but let's test something with this idea and we'll see. So we made a pass.
There you go. That looks a lot
we did
better.
the animation and we played it, and finally we liked the feel of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and once in game, dressed with the VFX, and you can see the wind through her clothes and the sound on it. I think at that moment we knew that we managed to.
That does look good, actually.
Yeah.
Super
Wow.
cool.
Very menacing.
Yeah.
It does look like a bull. Now that you mentioned it, it does look like
see
a
it
bull.
great.
How's my day going? It's going pretty well. I'm redeemed.
Cool.
Thank you for asking. You're the first person who's
Something we also
asked.
saw in the last segment, and we even saw it in the gameplay trailer too, was the iconic move. I won't reenact it again. But, I would love to know more about that in particular. This one.
Yes. So the iconic move. I loved working on this animation. We learned a lot from it, and like the rush, it was very much about the feeling as well. We wanted something brutal, but we also wanted that those who see the movement can feel it as much that those who hold the controller. And with this two long swords. We needed a moment when she just skewers her opponent, and we did it not just once, but twice. And yeah, I think it feels very great with the camera shake on it, the blood trails on the sword, the sound, the crunchy sound on it as well. Yeah, so I think it all creates the apotheosis of her iconic move.
It looks super, super cool.
Since the weapon are really long, it was quite difficult sometimes to, because you want to see your weapon, but they're so long and she wind back, and so we need to adjust the camera doing back and forth on that, so it feels perfect. So
It
players
looks,
gonna feel it.
the final product looks
You do it, and if you receive it, you're gonna feel it. That's
for sure.
I think I wanted to ask more specifically about that, and like like you're talking a lot about like something that feels good. Can you expand more on that? Like, how do you actually make something that feels good? I feel like it's subjective, maybe a lot of the time.
Very subjective. Yes, it's something that it's hard because you cannot really explain it.
Yeah.
You have to feel it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And it's more about gameplay animation. Is all about that. It's about the feel. You have the controller in hand. It's not just the animation needs to look good, because sometimes in the software it looks good. You put it in game, doesn't feel quite right.
Yeah.
Because you need to. Sometimes you cannot explain it. Sometimes the animation needs to be a little bit broken when you sit like outside of the game, but when you have it in game, it punch a pack and it's like, oh yes, now I feel it. And you can then work with the VFX team, adding rumbles, having the sound, the VFX, all of that makes it even better. But the feel is, and take a look, like, and I will be curious to see which move and which animation feels the best to player. So yeah.
They've got some crazy executions to look at. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the execution are really
Let's see those
There's some
executions.
nuts executions that they can show.
Yeah, so feels is, like you said, it's pretty. It's an emotion. Almost.
Yeah, for sure. It's like the combination of like all the different aspects all together, like the camera shake, like the camera zoom. I forget what it's called exactly, but like when you're like kind of like executing someone and like the camera's like zooming in a little bit at the same time. Like
you
adding
go
that
into
emphasis,
the action. Yeah, basically. Yeah. And we always, like, in the back of the character, you live the thing. So feeling is crucial for us. So it's part of our. We have to make it feel good.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you both for coming on and giving us more insight into like the production side of things for the animation, because it's super cool. I love being able to see like all like the raw data and stuff, and to like seeing it from that turning into what it is now is just like incredible. So it's super cool. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Did you want to give shout outs to anyone to say what's up?
Just a big shout out to everyone who worked
team?
on this one.
Honestly, it's a big team effort. Everybody like mentioned it before, but it's a big team effort to end up with that. So
for sure,
props to everybody and to the player that will play it. And
My idea on her height? No, I would need to see her side by side with other heroes to know for
folks,
sure.
Stick around, because up next we have a music analysis segment, which is pretty cool. It's not something we usually do, so it's very exciting. So stick around.
All right. Executions. Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Wow. That takes some arm muscle. All right. That's a little silly. Well, that was creepy music to play there. I like that one. Nice. Okay. All right. That was really cool. So I know that some people don't like to watch these parts with the animation and the music and stuff like that. I like seeing it because I like seeing all the effort and energy that goes into making these seasons and heroes and stuff. I think it's important to remember, guys, that this game takes effort. You hear a lot of people like shit on the game saying, oh, they don't care, they don't try, they just throw in the same heroes over and over, they don't listen to the fans, they don't care about our enjoyment. But then you actually, watch this stuff and you see just how much energy and effort they do put in. You see all the stuff that they try to add and all the time it takes to put all the stuff together. I think it's important to remember that these developers care about this game as much, if not more than we do, and they want to give us the best they possibly could. I'm going to say this, and I mean it. With all the games that I've seen nowadays that have gone down this very cringe DEI or woke track where they just put in what they want to see rather than what the fans want to see, For Honor's one of the few games I can say they have tried their hardest to give us a unique, fun, and objectively entertaining experience. Now, I know that it's hard to say objectively entertaining because people are going to find different things entertaining. But I find even like characters like Sohei, which was, I would argue, a very weak hero on release, I found very entertaining. I found him very fun to learn, and I still think he's one of my favorite samurai to play. So honestly, I feel like the developers do care, and you see that in these segments where they talk about the animation, like watching how they tried to come up with her dash forward animation and what the process was in terms of how they made that, I thought was really interesting. And now we're going to get to hear about the music. You know how every season we go, oh man, this OST cooks, this OST is so good. I kind of want to hear, how did they approach the music? How did they plan this for each year, like each season? I really do want to hear this. So I'm really excited to hear all about what they did here. So that is my stance on that.
Welcome back, Warriors!
Hey!
We are happy to dive
Kyle,
into
what
this
are you
really
doing
cool
there?
segment that we do not get to do very often.
Second
So
guy,
I'm
look at him.
very excited we get to bring it back for the end of year
He looks a
8
bit like
because
he
I
lost
think
his
it's
hair.
one of the coolest parts of the game, and I know a lot of you out there too. But yeah, it's the music and the audio for that. So who
I can
better
see
to
it.
talk about that than these amazing guests with me today? We have Raph joining us back on the couch. Hi, Raph.
Yes, I do singing and I do the voices.
He's gonna sing.
Hey!
He's gonna sing the entire thing. Don't worry
Throat
about
singing
it.
especially, yeah.
It's his specialty, like we just confirmed just now. We're gonna
Yes.
put you on the spot. No,
Yeah.
we have Carl as well.
only
our audio
Ubisoft
director on
invest
this,
more to the
and,
game.
and for the first
F
time in
off with
quite a
that.
while, Mr. Luc St. Pierre is back with us today. We're so happy to have you here.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah. So, folks, if you didn't realize, like we build kind of these huge musical thematics that span the entire year, and there's so much work that goes into that. And again, it's really just done by these amazing people here, and then again, a lot of support goes into it. But just so much detail and is always involved, and we know that you appreciate that a lot because we often see it about how hard these tracks slap or whatever the kids are saying nowadays. But yeah, just we want to get a really nice perspective on year 8 and see how that goes. Now, Raph, you were here I think last time, and you were talking about kind of the narrative of the entire year and how we started year 8 with this idea of the weapons and brought it all the way through this storyline. But we did something very similar with the music too, right? So where should we start? Like,
Well, I'm not actually here because I throat sing, at least not here.
You lied to me.
I'm here because, well, I think I really enjoyed GC's segment where he was talking about how we managed to, we start with some keywords, some impressions that we want to convey, and then each department has to try to work from their own perspective to bring it into the hero. And it is the fact also, in the case also with audio, of course, and narrative supports audio in this. This is why I'm here, actually, to support you both, gentlemen. So let's try to remember what was season 1. This has been the year of being forged in war. This is something that, of course, Guljin, our new hero, has been. But the idea was that we would go back to the origins of For Honor and try to explore the core values of each of the factions. And we started with the Knights, with the Sword of Ashfeld, our first season. The core values of the Knights, the ones that we were trying to explore, are honor, duty, sacrifice for weaker people, And one really important aspect that we wanted to convey was nostalgia. So how did you manage to bring that up in that season?
Yeah, thanks, Raf, for the good summary. So, yes, the nostalgia was really important for us. So, quickly, the music is a really strong lever to bring the listener to past memories, feeling, emotion. So, an example, 10 years ago, I did a travel. In this travel, I was listening a music album all along. Then, now, 10 years later, when I'm hearing this album again, it's bringing me exactly in the mood of this travel, the same kind of feeling. So, on Foreigner, which track could do exactly this kind of nostalgia feeling? So, the night music theme is a really good one to do this feeling. It's bring chivalry value, the honor, the weak protection, and in the same time, this Foreigner was live since 8 years. It's something really amazing. So it's led us to bring a bit this kind of epic feeling in the main theme, and highlight a bit the weak protection.
Okay.
So all that together, it lead us to change the main theme, be really closer the original one, but change like the end of the main theme to a bit more weak protection, slightly more epic, and keep the beginning close to the nostalgia feeling. So, look, you work really hard to stay really close that.
Yeah. I understand also that the players were very attached to this original theme.
Oh, I loved it. I
so
loved
it was also a task that I had to really keep it as close as possible. Also to make them think for a while that, hey, this is the original. They brought back the original, but then we take them just a bit somewhere. We kind of deviate and revisit the cue of the time. And it was not a super easy task because some instruments were, I didn't know what they used. So just by listening to this theme, this on the violin or something, I had to do some experiment. I even called my, the alti player that I work with. I said, listen to this, and how could you come up with a sound like this? And he used an arco, an archet, and played it on a metal of a vibraphone to kind of create the resonance. And he did it with an iPhone.
Just to showcase.
Yeah. And he sent it back to me, and I said, well, yeah, I think it does the job, And I slapped it in on the cue and sent it to the team so that they can approve it. And they said, yeah, it's good. I said, yeah, but that was done with an iPhone, So it doesn't matter, we won't have to redo it. So it's one of the funny things that when we produced that track, I had to go at that length to really find that sound. And it was working, so I said, well, let's keep it then, even if it was recorded with an iPhone. And as for the rest, then, we kept the beginning pretty much the same, I think. And then, the nights are solemn and, what's the word that I am being shouted at sometimes? Gravitas. That was my main goal. I hope I achieved it. So the idea was that to keep the gravitas into the cue, the solemn and, the seriousness of the nights. So yeah.
No, I thought the music was stellar.
And then it was a matter of writing the cue the way it was.
I would say that you did manage to bring back this, gravitas and all of that, but nostalgia too. We have some members on the team that are there since the beginning of the project, so even before launch, and they told me that hearing these few notes, they were brought back, not exactly 10 years ago, but 8 years ago.
And a long time.
Yeah, like traveling through time with music. This is extraordinary.
And we know our players recognized it too. Like
yes.
I know we saw the threads and the Reddits and the posts, but yeah, a lot of people out there they totally vibed with that too. So
it's sometimes I read a comment where whenever they start playing 3 years ago, even though the game has been here for maybe 8 years or 9, I'm not too sure. And the team that is playing when they start playing the game is now the team that they do associate with the game, and they stay attached to it. And I see those comments once in a while. Oh, I'd like to be able to have a jukebox and choose my theme and go back, But I mean, this game is evolving, and you know the personages are also evolving. So that's why the music is also evolving. So cannot keep the same thing all the time. But I know they really have a memory attached to the whatever team we come up.
Yeah.
Yes, it's important to say that the themes of the season are reflected, as we said. We try to be coherent, so the themes of the season will be reflected in the music.
Right.
And it was the case for season 1, but it was also the case for season 2, which was a samurai season. So this time going back to the core values of the samurai with the Muramasa Blade season. This was the season of Master Katashi, Master of Zen, trying to handle and self-discipline himself to use this really great weapon that is quite
Love the music in
bloodthirsty and all of that. So you have to self-discipline to be Zen yourself. And he was contrasted with this giant beast of a man that is Sohei, or Oniwaka, the name of the main titular hero. And he was learning to be Zen, but not exactly that. So there was something of a duet, or there was contrast a lot between these two characters and between the bloodthirsty aspect of the sword and the self-discipline that you have to show. And it was reflected in a map, it was reflected everywhere. Was it reflected in the music too?
Yeah, but we try to highlight a lot of yes, the duality in the music structure, but also the discipline to work really hard. We have two really interesting archetypes, so the Orochi skin, and then we have also Sohei, but both are really similar because every day they practice their art of fight, their discipline. They doesn't fight just because they are violent or they want to do a war. They fight to be better, to be more engaged in the art of fight.
Okay.
So each day they practice physical skills. They practice or doing meditation, so visualization, just to align well his mind with his physical skill. And at the end, for sure, it's a fighter. So it's challenge all this practicing art in a challenge, in a really important duel or whatever. So in this season, it's a duel. So we feel it in the main theme. At the beginning, it was a meditation. We have a breathing. It's a really cool feeling of Zen because they do that. In the middle of the theme, we entering Sohei, and now we set the musical theme for each archetype and instrumentation and kind of face off, a bit like fight box in the ring. Well, at the beginning of the box match, we have the announcer, or we could see in the left corner we have Orochi skin, and in the right we have Sohei. So it's a bit the idea.
That's how he brought it to me, actually, you know. And I didn't try to reinvent the wheel. You said in the left corner and in the right corner. So I went pan left, pan right. The two instruments. Basically, we started to associate the shakuhachi to the guy, you know, on the bridge, meditating, ready for his fight. And the idea was to, kind of create a combat, a fight between the shakuhachi, and I used the shamisen for the, remind me the name of the...
Zoe.
Thank you. Sorry. So we have those two playing left and right, and the kind of instrument kind of fight together. So this is, but there was no, how would I say, no particularity to the writing of the thing. It was really to create this kind of movement, left, right, and stop, and try to imagine visually, you know, there's a sword that came close to you, so we stopped the music, and
the shamisen
is kind of
connected to
suspended,
Sohei really well.
Like this, and
It's
then
a
it
more
starts again,
energetic,
and
powerful,
it goes with the
dangerous.
rhythm and
So
drums.
I did notice the
trying
contrast.
To create this
I
kind
didn't
of
think of it as a
chaos,
fight, but
chaotic
I
fight.
see
So
where
this
he's
is
getting
how
at.
we managed, I hope, you know, to create this sensation of fight. And with Carl bringing all those ideas, a ring and a fighter. That gives me a direction, you know, to work. So
You said that there wasn't anything. Well, it's simply a duet or something like that. But there was something really particular with this season, I would say, because with the music of that season, because For Honor often is a lot of percussion, a lot of all bangers all the time, let's say. And in this one, you had to have this contrast because you had the self-discipline and the outside.
It's not that I'm not saying that there was nothing particular. It's just that there's no funny story.
Yeah,
there's
no
around the
iPhone
around the
involved, I get
production. It was like okay, we're writing a cue, and because there was less instrument involved in terms of recording. Because whenever you hire a musician to do some recording and some production, then story happens too for all kind of reasons.
I understand.
So and for a rare time, this is a season that we work with electronic instrument samples only, which are real player anyway. I mean, you know, a sampled instrument is a real player recorded, and you trigger with a note. But since we had no recording in studio or so, that's the particularity actually.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean it does not, you know, do the right thing. You know, it worked, and we managed to do it on our own.
Still very interesting.
Yeah.
Talking of all bangers all the time, next season was a Viking season, and that's like banging, 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 you know? So the next season, season 3 in the year, was the Shield of
I remember
Vanguard.
this one.
It was a season so about the Vikings, but we tried to do the Vikings with a different twist a bit. We wanted to do a season about death and about celebrating death, about how the Vikings see death as just the beginning of something else, because you are going into the afterlife. If you fought well enough, you're going into Valhalla, you're going to fight with the gods, into Ragnarok and all of that. But in order to do that, the Vikings had really specific burial rituals. Everybody would know the ship that you would sand and burn or something like that. But what was really important for the Vikings was to celebrate the life of the one who had died, and to celebrate it by singing his praises or her praises, just bringing them into to the attention of the gods, so that they would bring them into Valhalla. And so you celebrate life even in death. And this was the occasion for us on the narrative side to, usually they would do it with a choir or something like that. They would really literally sing the praise of the dead person. And so we had the chance to write some lyrics on your music, which is not something we usually do, and we love doing it. So how is it for you having some lyrics on your seasonal music?
Yeah, this season was really particular because many seasons ago we did other kind of lyric saga. We use a poem from public domain, and we put that in music. But now, because we did in the past, we try to do something else a little bit different. It's why Foreigner scriptwriter wrote the poem by itself. It's cool because it was the first time on Foreigner we write exactly the lyric to fit really well with Godmother in this case. So we had to celebrate a legend, to tribute him. So this kind of celebration is mostly done by oral tradition, kind of saga with a choir that fit really well. We could imagine that this kind of saga is shared among Eatmore by many villagers that sing this song in many different villages. So this lyric, it was particular because our scriptwriter write the text in English, and then we grab it. It was cool, but finally we need to adapt them in Icelandic. Challenge is big because Icelandic we can't translate one word by one word. We need to reappropriate the minding in English and then change completely differently to keep the same minding but with different words.
Yeah.
When we get it, it was cool. It fit more or less the number of syllables to make it possible in music. And then now at this moment, look,
and it's
entering in
also
the process.
It's also impossible to pronounce, just so you know.
For us, there are people who
For
can
us.
pronounce Icelandic. I'm pretty sure.
RGHTZ altogether. I'm not too sure. I put a slash on it. The idea, I mean, I received, they asked me, so, what kind of text would you like to work with? And I basically said, we we have, you know, a metric system, bars and beats, and so how about between 12 and 16? In French, we say pied, so maybe foot syllable, or let's say, you know, a little chunk of that kind of counts for a beat. Anyway, so they came up with this list, and there were way too many because I could not fit that in the, but it gave us choice. So I decided to go chronologically and try to pick the ones that I could sing myself because I had to do the demo. So I had to sing all the parts. So I didn't cheat, but I chose what made sense into the storyline and into the chronology, and also what I could possibly sing and make a sound come out of my mouth out of it with these letters put together, basically.
You're actually the singer. It wasn't me. It was you.
I'm
all the time.
I am not a singer, you know. But there's one thing I discovered too in the course of this production is that I'm a baritone, so I can go low and I can go high. So I write the part and I send it to the choir in Sweden, and then the choir director called me actually, they can't sing that. They can't sing that. It goes too low for the tenor, it goes too high for the bass. So I said, okay, well, but we'll have the tenor go or the bass go an octave higher,
sent
whatever.
it to a choir in Sweden.
And
Oh
it
God.
completely changed the mood of the thing, and it was not working anymore. So it was a disaster. We have to go back in studio and re-record.
Something happened after that, right?
Yeah,
Because
but
it ended up looking great over here.
yeah, well, they were kind enough, you know, for they really accommodated us into re-recording just a part and have the bass go a bit higher than they were supposed to, as opposed to ask the tenor to go too low. It sounded better to have the bass stretch to the highs as opposed to the tenor stretching to the lows. So that's how we managed to do it. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. Basically, so basically the singer loses his voice. It's just going well. So basically that was the how we did it. We, with the text that the team came, I chose, I sang it, had it approved by the team for the demo, and then sent it to Sweden, and they came up with, and it was a surprise to hear, oh, that's how you say this. Oh, and that's how it sounds, you know. And it was sometimes really surprising, like, oh my God, I was completely off chart, you know, with the pronunciation. But that's how basically it came up.
I'm happy that you bring up the challenges that come with localization. And by the way, I want to a big shout out to our localization friends who help us to translate. You know that pretty much we have translation, localization for each different season, and usually with different languages. And of course, it was the case, and it was a challenge with the fourth season of the year, this season that we're presenting now. So we had to we created a Mongol-centric season, and we had localization in Mongolian for the hero, of course, but also a bit into the music. And we had to explore this wonderful Mongol culture and try to find things that would be iconic but not cliche. So throat singing, but using it the right way, finding the right instruments, finding the right tone, finding the right words. So how did you go about that? I mean, you're going.
I want to know this
here
too.
From,
I'm really curious how
we're
they
going with
approached this
gravitas
season.
with the knights. We're going in Viking. I'm working with people in Sweden. I'm working with Japanese instrument, and then Mongolia. You're going all over the world. How do you do that?
I think we have to listen a lot of music, and when we start a new season, a new thematic, a new culture, we dive in a lot of music, try to understand what is the minding behind the composition, the instrumentation, what is the culture behind, and try to figure out what could fit with our thematic, with Foreigner, and how we could use it to stay just interesting and fit well with all this kind of culture blending. And at the end, we hope it works. So, but it's cool because we love music, we listen music, and we are getting friends with that and with the story of Foreigner. So we need to have a story. So in this example of Hotun season, so we start with an idea of army arrival. So the army is coming closer and closer. So we imagine a bit Hotun army was on the top of the hill and then charged toward the bottom of the hill, really with a lot of aggressivity, a lot of chaos, destroying or killing every enemy on their paths. But the idea was they coming really closer all the time to get scare the other opponent. So it's more or less what we're hearing. I like that in the music. And then we have the big fight, for sure, because it's a fight. And then at the end, when the combat is finished, Hotun army is winning. So now they could impose this peace on Eatmore with the beautiful throat singing line melody that happened. So yes, it's still Foreigner. We have percussion. We have a lot of this kind of ADN of music, but we had slightly too interesting instrument that was like us. We have some throat singing, were interesting, and we tried to have the horse fiddle also.
Horsehead fiddle.
Yeah, but
I heard
it was
that
more
fiddle, bro.
complicated finally.
Well,
that was really well
you
implemented
talk about,
too.
You know, the geographic aspect of
Yes.
and going from there to there to there. I personally rely a lot on the input of the musicians that I hire to do the work, because I cannot pretend to understand the DNA of or the source of those music, you know, and I very much thank them now, you know, publicly for their personal input into the making of this. And in the case of the Mongolian music, the first two things that come in mind are, yes, the throat singing and the horsehead fiddle. So we had the chance to have this amazing singer, Uyanga Bold, who you know, has a mesmerizing, enchanting, amazing voice. And we also have, well, we tried, as you mentioned, we wanted a horsehead fiddle, which is like pretty emblematic of the sound of Mongolia. And in order to make the recording session work well, we decided to have a local cellist player to do some kind of a placeholder as to where we're going to have the instrument or what kind of line it's going to do. And her performance was just amazing. And, well, there is this thing called temp love, temporary music or placeholder love, that kind of happened. And weeks after listening and re-listening to the placeholder, I believe me and the whole team kind of fell in love with this performance. And it's not because the performance of the Morinko player in California was not good. It's just because we got used to that. So we decided all together, and especially even more so the team, to keep the performance of the cellist.
Nice.
And I think it works amazingly well. What she does, she has the energy.
Interesting.
And
So they kept
Morinko
the
has a
cello.
much
That's interesting.
softer tone. And I wonder if played hard, if it could even bring, you know, the punch of the cello played in a more contemporary way, let's say. So yeah, that's for the little story of the season, and also the fact that throat singing is right away associated with male voice going oh, and Uyanga does throat singing, so we figured, wow, we have a female heroine, and she can do throat singing, so that's perfect. You know, we're gonna have something that we don't hear quite often is a woman doing throat singing, and she brought sounds that were just coming out of this world, and you hear her doing her you know, her scream or more sometimes deeper voices. So I do rely on them, and I thank them for their input into the music.
I'm going to look up, what was her name? Uyanga Bold? Uyanga Bold. I'm going to look her up later because I want to hear more of her work.
So yeah, that's again really cool to get a nice recap of all that.
The Mongol Empire reminds you of the Nilfgaardians, but more brutal. I don't see the similarity between the Nilfgaardians and the Mongols.
Well, we have an album.
Nilfgaardians are more
that we
Holy Roman Empire.
Forged in War, all the OST, music by Luc St. Pierre here. So you can follow the code there, but I'm sure we'll have a page on the site after this. But yeah, you can go download that or follow it on all those various music providers. It's great. You can just relive all of this year, and yeah, I mean, look back because we did that for the other years too, because the music's awesome and we love it. So very cool. Well, thank you again so much, Carl. Thank you, Luke. Thank
Welcome.
You, Raph,
Thanks for inviting me.
for all this amazing.
All right.
depth.
That was
we hope to have
fascinating.
you back soon again for year 9 since.
That was fascinating.
All right, folks, listen, don't go anywhere because we're going to be right back with some patch notes next. So we'll see you in a second.
Yeah, I can hear the cello now. Now that I listen to it a bit better, I do hear the cello. And that's Bold. That's her. Is that her throat singing too? If that's her throat singing, that's kind of incredible. Wow. I never even thought about it, but just knowing that this one woman did all that, that is insanity. Oh my gosh. I know that a lot of y'all were probably bored to tears by that because I was looking at chat on occasion and a lot of y'all were just talking about other stuff, but I was really wrapped up in that. That was really cool. The way they talked about it, the way they just went into how the music was established and some of the little tidbits behind what they had to do, especially talking about some of the stuff they did for the Vikings. I didn't know that they went to an actual Swedish choir in Sweden to get that choir music that we heard. I thought that was like AI generated or something at some point, or maybe they or what they did. But wow, it was really good. That was really good. Goldstein is currently being praised as a lesbian icon of the Discord server. There's a reason I don't go on Discord anymore. There is legitimately a reason I only go there to give announcements. I don't go there for any other reason because my Discord is full of degenerates. And you can take that as a term of endearment if you want. I'll consider it what I've always considered it. The truth. Tell me I'm wrong, Lark. How do you feel about Astria suffering a huge loss and taken prisoner? It needed to happen. It's high time Horko suffered an L. Like a meaningful L. Not like a, oh no, this new Outlander showed up and beat one of my generals. Oh no. No. Horkos needed a good kick in the teeth. And they got it. So now I think we're getting a new status quo.
Welcome back, Warriors.
Welcome back!
Yes, I am.
All right, well.
All right, here we go. Patch time.
It's been a couple segments.
Yeah, but I was like patiently sitting in the back.
Yes.
Listening to everybody. Animation team, amazing job.
Amazing.
Like
Yes.
Grace and Noel was her first time on. Amazing.
Yeah, great job.
Then music. Luke is amazing. Carl is also like really, really good.
Dude,
We're
Luke St. Pierre. I need to
I
get
was,
like all of his
easily in the
albums.
back.
Like
I
I want to know if
wasn't
he does other
totally-
stuff besides just
no,
For
but
Honor.
it's still-
He's a really good
I know,
composer.
yeah, like the passion of these folks making this amazing.
Unbelievable.
It's great. So, but we have some patch notes lined up too for tomorrow. So what do we got?
We're gonna go into, but first let's start super quickly as a really fast recap of the last testing grounds we did for Peacekeeper feats. So we got feedback from it, right? We didn't get a lot of feedback, but we got feedback. It's good. Overall, the results were not as we were hoping, which is okay. It's totally normal. It happens once in a while. That's why we do it, right? So we're gonna go back to the drawing board a little bit for Peacekeeper. So this means that we will not be pushing them live at the beginning of year 9.
Yep.
So it's gonna happen eventually. We're trying to repackage things a little bit and make sure that we have like a something that's gonna be a bit more, like a bit better for Peacekeeper. But for now, like I said, it's not gonna come
All right,
live.
so
it's okay.
Peacekeeper's testing ground is not going
reason
forward yet.
why
They-
we have
the
testing
re- the
ground.
response
Sometimes
wasn't
things
great.
pan out. Sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't pan out, and it's not like oh yeah, just do this. Like 'cause sometimes we do testing grounds, and it's like oh yeah, there's like one little change here, one little change there.
Yeah.
Easy peasy. In this case, it's a bit more complicated, so we're gonna go back to the drawing board, get something better in,
and
then get to where we need to be. So that should be good.
Sounds good.
Cool. All right, so let's look at patch notes.
Patch notes. Let's
all
go.
right. So first off, we have a bit of a global change. So the forward dodge heavy attacks of these heroes, so Aramusha, Berserker, Highlander, Shinobi, and Tiandi, they now have 100 MS of Gorbrig vulnerability. It used to be at 433 for these heroes specifically. So we have a bunch of other heroes that have front dodge heavies that have 100 MS of Gorbrig vulnerability. We wanted to make sure that it was a bit more equal between everybody. So these heroes did not It's a small buff for them. You can use it to kind of like beat garbage attempts in some like firm advantage situation.
Yeah.
Whatever you want to do there. But it's a bit of a quality of life change for these heroes. Should make them a little bit better and have a bit of improvement in this case.
Nice.
Next up, we have damage changes to Raiders. So,
Damage changes to Raider.
We, as you may recall, we nerfed Raiders' damage quite a bit. I don't remember exactly when.
A while ago, yeah.
It's been a while there. But essentially, we over-nerfed Raider, right? And so as things go on, as the game progresses, as the meta changes, we get into talks with some players as well, and we kind of like figure out, okay, so what can we do? What could be interesting? And so Raider's damage was a little bit below the curve. So even though these might look like mostly like it's a 1 damage increase, sometimes it's a 2 damage increase, it still does add up and make a difference. They used to be much higher before.
Would I do a video talking about Nilf
We
Guardians
nerfed
in
them
a
bit
future
too low,
video?
now we're
Maybe,
equalizing a bit
I don't
more
know. That
towards
seems
the
more like a
center.
lark thing.
Makes a bit more sense. You win a bit better in trading. You get into better situations. So essentially, the chained heavies deal 1 damage extra, and then the finishers, as well as the zone attack that you have in chains, which is Raider's Fury, deal 2 extra damage. So again, not massive changes to Raider, but still enough to get him a little bit more back on top, so that we have something that like the hero becomes a bit more viable. We'll see where that ends up landing over time, but it makes a bit of a difference on Raider for this.
Awesome.
And then last slide here. So these are not the most massive patch notes. We have a new hero coming. We have a bunch of stuff happening. So sometimes we have to like reshuffle things around. But we still have some other changes, right? So for Varangian Guard, so we adjusted the chain link timing from Dodge Lights and from Helder Hold Keeper to Light Finisher specifically to be 300 MS up from 200. This means that in those situations, it's always going to be dodgeable. There was a bit of an issue here where like it wasn't super consistent.
Yeah. It
was really difficult or borderline impossible to dodge if you did like a side dodge right into a light or when they were blocked.
Right.
So this kind of changes that timing so it's easier to dodge. We also adjusted Blackprior's Tenebrous Trust, which is his front dodge heavy. So that attack has superior block while you're using it, but it had a 300 MS superior block window, kind of like what we have with Varangian Guard before. So this is not really necessary. We saw that those timings are not really good. So we're putting it back to 200 at the proper timing like we had before. So it's a change that we're doing overall for this hero to kind of like make him again more in line with what we have with other heroes. And then finally, so the last patch, if you remember, we removed Berserkers.
They didn't buff
Unlock
Varangian.
Deck.
That's a nerf.
Kind of weird glitch that he had. We also did a patch on Nephira, and it removed most of it, but there was still a way to do it on Nephira that we have now fully fixed and removed. Big thanks to Nuke Francis, our game designer that worked on this, that figured out the exact solution to the problem. He fixed it on Berserker, managed to find the exact problem with Nephira. So really big thanks to him. We're able to get that done. And that is it for patch notes. Again, like
not a lot. Okay, not a lot in the patch notes
biggest
department.
Patch notes that we've ever had. We have, like I said, we have a new hero. There's a lot of stuff coming. We're preparing for year 9. There's a lot of stuff happening. There's more testing grounds coming. More balance changes coming in the future. So we're taking a little bit of a breather here to come back in full force and be able to have a lot more stuff coming in the next year.
Awesome.
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 Well, JC, thank you so much
Awesome.
for
having me.
those pretty quick.
Awesome.
So, folks, stick around too because we're going to be right back to wrap up the show and talk about what's coming up next in the next week or so. So, thank you, JC, once again.
Thank you, and stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Play Hotun.
La Hotun.
Hotun. Yeah. All right, now we're moving on to the wrap up. Woo! All right, guys, we're almost done. We're almost done. Thank you guys for sticking with me for. I started this at about 10:30, right? So I've been going for almost 4 hours now. Oh man, I'm beat. I've been sitting on my butt too long. I need to get up and go play in the snow. But this has been a good stream so far. This has been a good stream so far. I've been enjoying this, and I'm very excited for the new hero, Hotun. And some people are going to say, oh, but the patch notes weren't much. I didn't expect them to be much. If I'm being honest, you know, with a new hero coming out, they probably don't want to do too many patch notes because it could throw everything out of whack. You could release a new hero and then totally change the meta of the game, which could affect the new hero, could affect a lot of existing heroes. You want to keep it simple so that you see how the new hero impacts the meta and then decide how you adjust it from there. So I don't mind breaking the patch notes. I'm sure some will bitch. I'm not one of them. Raven, sing the song you were gonna sing. We got to 400. We got to 400? I didn't know we got to 400. Oh, sing the song. Tell you what, I'll sing the song at the end. I'll sing the first stanza of the song at the end because we're about to get to the wrap up and I don't want to interrupt them. I'll sing the. But if we did get over 300, and that was what I said. If we got over 300, I'd sing Vinny, Emmanuel. I will do that. But after this, of course.
Wait, domestic best girl Nusha.
This is very reflective of our PlayStation. It's usually me just running away from you.
Gonna
Oh.
get it.
Oh,
I got it. Okay, sorry.
all right. Well, it didn't see you there. Didn't see you there. Just playing some For Honor.
Hey.
On the good old Steam Deck. Playable on Steam Deck. Pretty cool.
Works so
Yeah,
well.
it's fun. It's fun. But yeah, super excited. What a show. That was long. That was a long one.
That was a long one, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah,
There was a
super
lot to
exciting
say.
stuff.
I enjoyed it.
Like new hero coming. Got the free
Yeah.
event pass.
Yeah.
The weapons on the hero look so cool. I
All that
love them.
customization, the armor, so good.
Super good.
Yep. And then
Love
the
it.
music at the end of the year, always nice to wrap that
Yeah,
up too. So
yeah, that
good
was
stuff.
nice.
So I'm excited. But yeah, I think we need to recap for you all, folks, what is coming up starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Let's do
Anthony,
it. An
take us through it.
official list. So we've got Hotun, our new hero, live tomorrow, looking super badass for 15k steel.
Right.
Free event pass. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, it's 2 weeks you can buy it for
True,
steel, right?
true.
So,
After 2 weeks, it'll be available for steel. But tomorrow it's $7.99.
there you go.
We've also got the free event pass, Hatun's piece.
Such a good pose there.
Yeah, I love that. Got some Hero Fest for Orochi, Pirate, and Griffin. Be on the lookout for that. We've got a throwback event, Battle of the Eclipse, running from February 20th. The steampunk with the gears is so nice.
Yeah, big scythe.
Yeah.
Love that. Love that.
We got our balance patch that you guys just talked about.
That's right.
Live tomorrow. And we also have our free week starting tomorrow.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they play that cool graphic again.
Yeah.
Yeah, so come play. There's no
I
excuses.
want a For Honor chess
Play.
set now. That's all I can
Come
think
hang
about when
out.
I see that. I want a For Honor chess set.
Yeah.
It'd be fun. Yeah, folks, we also have some content of the week coming your way, too. So, available starting tomorrow until February 13th, limited time. We have a new execution, Let's Wrestle 2. We like the first wrestling exec so much. We made another one, so you get a nice DDT.
She's suplexing him. She's bringing out the
We
ladder.
also have a
Oh,
Hit
God.
the Flowers of Death for 15k steel.
Ooh.
So this is cool. Nice, pretty flowers, but if you wait for it during the emotes and the execs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they're spooky skulls.
They are spooky.
They're spooky. I like it. We also have a weekly arcade quest coming up, the Sal Mesa Celebration, available for all players. So you can check that out starting tomorrow. So that'll be good. And the event order, Hatun's Peace, week 1. So be the faction with the most Dominion matches won. So that'll be going on as well for the first week. So yeah, great stuff there. So
Go play Dominion.
yeah.
I'm going to play Dominion.
With Hatun.
Yeah, of course. That's not all. We've also got Community Corner.
Community
with,
Corner.
Community
Let's see what they got for
Corner.
us.
Josh,
I want to
take it
see
away.
what we got.
Welcome back to the show, Warriors. It's Community
Josh
Corner
and
time.
Jet.
I am Josh. We're joined by Jet. Jet, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Dude, I'm glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. This is our first Community Corner of the year, though. At least that we're doing. So,
Yeah,
like,
and Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to all the Warriors out there. Hope you guys just stay nice and toasty, stay nice and cool.
Josh,
on your
full
region.
respect, brother. Shave the hair
we
off
got
your
some really,
chin.
really
That
cool
does
and
not look
fun stuff
attractive.
we want to show
Fix
you
that.
today. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and start off with the first clip from Hellcat. Conk's new execution is awesome.
Oh, it's so cool.
Whoa!
And the sound effects here.
Around the world.
Wonderful.
The bog herd around the world.
That was nice.
Now we're gonna have a nice little throwback to the Ice Brawlers game mode event from the holiday season. He's like, what's the one thing you shouldn't do when you're killing someone?
Do some gloating.
Yeah.
Of course, because you're gonna
into the drink.
Throw people down.
Yeah.
More accurate
And now
peacekeeper.
we've got another clip from Vidal the King. Always sends in awesome clips.
Yeah.
And just an epic cinematic.
Ooh.
Like, that could not have been timed any more perfectly.
Ooh.
And then a nice little farewell to the game mode. 07.
Yeah. I love this art here. It's wonderful. I love the little details.
Yeah, like, yeah. Actually, I didn't know that until just now. That's sick.
Oh, this clip is awesome. It's probably the cleanest Kensei I've ever seen in my entire life. It's beautiful to watch.
Yeah, bro is a
Ooh.
knower.
Yeah, he is.
Everything's just getting parried.
You see Kensei's entire moveset in this clip.
Yeah. I'm really bad at Kensei though. I wish I could be half as good as that.
You might get tips.
Damn.
Look at this awesome Peacekeeper Cyberpunk from
Oh,
Nebula.
wow.
I don't even know how long it took to draw something like this, but it looks utterly phenomenal, and it'd be really cool to see like a short story with like some cyberpunk-esque type things.
It would, yeah. It's gorgeous art too. So thank you for sending.
Reach
that
out to me. I'll write you
Absolutely.
something.
That's gonna go ahead and do it for the clips that we have here today. Again, as we always say, if you want to be featured, just post on Reddit, Twitter, wherever we're at, just go ahead and tag us. All the memes, all the dreams, all the sick plays, all the fails, we'll take them all.
We're always listening. We're always watching, and we're excited to see new Hotun clips. So we can't wait to see all the awesome gameplay that you guys come up with.
Yep, she's dropping tomorrow. So once you get your hands on her, go ahead and fire up that capture device that you got. We want to see all the awesome stuff. But that's gonna go ahead and do it for us here. Thank you so much for joining us, and we're gonna kick it back over to the studio people.
See ya.
And there you have it.
We are the studio people.
The studio people!
It's amazing. Oh, so good. Ice Brawlers. It's always just fun. Just salute on the way down. Like,
I love that.
It's the best mode. I love it. Good stuff. Good stuff.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. Awesome show. Thanks for everyone for watching and sticking around. Nolan, thank you. Thank you for being
Anthony.
here.
Yeah.
This was awesome.
It was fun.
Should do this again sometime.
What, play the Steam Deck?
Yeah, let's do it. All right, folks. Have fun tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Enjoy and stick around. I think we're going to be rating someone. Jet, Josh.
Who are you rating?
I think we're rating someone. Stick around.
But who?
I don't know. We'll see.
What should they yell when they raid someone?
Hotun!
Hotun!
I called it! I called
Call
it!
out the new hero when you raid.
Yeah! I can see the future! All right. My mouse went dead. It was sitting there so long, my mouse went dead. There we go. Fixed it. Oh, it was awesome. All right. I owe y'all the first stanza of Veni Vidi Emmanuel. Okay. Veni Veni Emmanuel, captivum solve Israel, quidem et in exiliu, privatus Dei filiu, gaude, gaude, Emmanuel, nascete pro te Israel. Veni, o sapientia, qua hic disponis omnia, veni viam prudentiae, ut doces ait gloriae, gaude, gaude, Emmanuel, nascete pro te Israel. All right. I did two stanzas. I decided to give you all two stanzas because I like that song and I like singing it. I could have done more. I won't do more. Anyway. All right. Anyway, wow. What a great stream, guys. You even got me to sing. I bet you never thought you'd see the day. Or hear the day. So, I am excited. Tomorrow is going to be awesome. We're going to get a brand new hero, the Hotun. She looks awesome. Her lore is awesome. Her story is awesome. And he plays awesome. We got some patch notes, not a lot, but they're going to be okay, I'm pretty sure. We got some awesome new drip coming. We got some new weapons coming in a battle pass. We got news that Year 9 is coming next season. I'm so excited about that. And all in all, I just had a great time this season, getting to see how the animations work for Hotun, getting to hear about all the music that was done. All in all, this was a really fun stream. I know it was a long one. I'm sore right now sitting here so long, but I had a great time. I had a wonderful time, and I released a video. I scheduled it to release at 2 o'clock today, so it released about 15 minutes ago. Go check it out if you want to hear something really cool, and that really cool thing being, yeah, I got early access. You all guessed it. I got early access to the hero. Hear what I have to say about that. Check that out. Hope you guys enjoy. I'm done. I need to go. I'm worn out. I need to actually eat something. I'm starving. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Tell you what, I'm probably going to stream tonight. If you come by the stream, I might sing more of that song. You never know. Maybe. I don't know what hell happened. But anyway, guys, thank you so much, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.